Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. The Hades of Marvel, Hela, She Became My Wife. Chapter 81. Boom. The momentum of the whole hell is churning. Egg broke through. Likewise, the benefits of his breakthrough can be enjoyed by everyone. When every new member of the Underworld breaks through, all can bring benefits to the Underworld. Some are just for Chin Hao alone. Some will benefit the entire Underworld. Just like Ancient One is the first to break through the God level. At that time, the entire Underworld was upgraded by a small level. Now, Ego is the first to join the anti-breakthrough as a god. He also brought endless benefits to the entire Underworld. Chin Hao's strength is rewarded with a reward of 1 and instantly becomes a late-stage star field. Just broke through because Egg became a member of the Underworld. In a blink of an eye, he broke through again. Not only that, with the blessing of reward 6, Chin Hao was promoted to another level. The pinnacle of the star field. Today, turning Yi Zhe into a layer of hell. It directly made Chin Hao break through a large realm. From the peak of the constellation level, it directly became the peak of the star field level. The terrifying increase made everyone feel dizzy. As he ascends, the others are not idle either. Boom. Boom. The continuous insane aura continued to reverberate in the stone pressure hell. The 3 judges, Hila, and Odin have directly achieved the initial stage of the constellation level. And Ancient One and Zhang Kui directly reached the middle stage of the constellation level. Serta also directly became the pinnacle of the small galaxy level. Even the half-step celestial off, at the moment directly breaks through the celestial. Small galaxy level late stage. So far, everyone here has become a god. The power of hell goes one step further. A star field level pinnacle. A star field level initial stage. 2 constellation level midterms. 5 constellation level initial stages. A small galaxy level pinnacle. A small galaxy level late stage. 11 gods. A whole 11. In the entire universe, apart from the celestial group, perhaps there is no organization that has such an astonishing number of celestial gods. What's more, these 6 hells are now divided into various parts of the universe. Chin Hao was able to collect more and more souls. Next, Egg, Hela, go find a space predator nicknamed Star-Lord. He possesses Egg's god gene. With him, Egg's strength may go even further. Chin Hao at the moment finally said Xingju's name. Star-Lord will be an important member they will look for next. Star-Lord, I know. Egg directly controlled his duplication, and scattered it towards the universe. And Hela also contacted members of Asgard directly. They want the whole universe to capture Star-Lord. Chin, the 6th level of hell has been established. Now, shouldn't it be time to find the collector? Hela still remembers the head of the ancient god of the collector. The increase in strength fascinated everyone. Since there is still a place where it is possible to improve its strength. That definitely is the first time to grasp it in your own hands. Well, go to the land of nothingness. Chin Hao ordered Sha Dada directly. In the land of nothingness, Collector at the moment is still distressed about the power gem. Last time I only got 1 cosmic spirit ball. The power gem inside is missing. The Collector has been speculating about where the power stone went. As an old yin coin who has survived for countless years, his network of relationships is frighteningly large. He mobilized his relationship and finally got some news from the Tiantian group. Then, he froze. The celestial group is actually going to trouble Hela again. They were deflated in hell. Is Hela so amazing inside? Even the 3 angels Shendu chose to retreat. Mephisto Dormammu is encountered though. But the 3 gods seemed to retreat because they were worried about Hela's counterattack. It seems that there is more than 1 god on Hela's side. How is this possible? Collector looked incredible. He has met each other. When he went to see Hela. The other party is obviously only half a step up to the level of a god. With such strength and such a level, how could it be possible for the 3 members of the celestial group to choose to leave? New god, or the other side made a temporary breakthrough. More importantly, the opponent actually broke through by borrowing the dimension Mephisto. How is such a thing possible? Dimension Mephisto appeared in this real world. There will definitely be more moves in the Tenjin group. In fact, things were exactly as he thought. The celestial team is on the move. This time, a team of 8 came. Seeker, small galaxy class. Analyst, small galaxy class. Collector constellation class. Calculator constellation class. Measurer constellation class. Explorer star field level. Tester star field level. Prosecutor great galaxy class. Fight, measure, observe. The entire team has a strong combat effectiveness. There are also 2 star field levels. It even sent the prosecutor, a powerful god of the big galaxy level. You know, what Qin Hao showed was only the strength of the pinnacle of the small galaxy level. The only thing that is special is that when Ancient One broke through, it was also in the late stage of the small galaxy level. This is much stronger than the general breakthrough of the gods. I didn't even have the experience of exploding stars, so I just skipped over. It even skipped the early and middle stages of the small galaxy class. Another important point is the key to the decision made by the tension group. The analysts had a perception that Qin Hao's strength was hidden. He suspected that Qin Hao had broken through to the small galaxy level. Reached the amazing constellation level. A level with collectors. So just in case, they naturally need to send more powerful people to attack. However, only Qin Hao and Ancient One. They don't need to dispatch such a team. They are more worried about the Dimension Mephisto. Since Ancient One can summon the Dimension Mephisto, then it is very likely that the opponent will choose to die together when facing their invincibility. Summon the Dimension Mephisto once again. Therefore, the star-level gods also participated in this operation. And there are 2 of them. However, the Tenjin group still feels unsafe. A large galaxy-level prosecutor was directly dispatched. This is the greatest guarantee. Even if the Dimension Mephisto wants to break through, it is also impossible to reach the level of a large galaxy in the blink of an eye. The prosecutor has full time to seal the Dimension Mephisto directly. This is the horror of the celestial group. They have countless gods. Any squad is a deterrent to this universe. Few civilizations or individuals can resist the judgment of the gods. In fact, this time they stopped. Because the judge did not judge Qin Hao, the hell should be destroyed. Therefore, no more powerful and Eradicator was sent. Once the Eradicators are dispatched, that is the beginning of destruction. Eradicate everything. Destroy everything. However, this time it was considered very important. In addition to the big killer Eradicator did not come out. A small team basically all came out. This is enough to prove that the Celestial Group attaches great importance to Morag. The moment when the Tenjin team attacked, the Collector in the Void felt it. As the Elder of the Universe, his strength is really not as simple as imagined. It seems that there are a lot of gods here. This time, are you going to really want to capture the other party and study it? Collector is very clear about the practices of the gods. Failed the first time, now with a stronger input. This time, he definitely wanted to deal with the opponent directly. It seems that Goddess Hela will be sealed for another period of time. But since you have the power of immortality, then the longevity is very long, and when the Tenjin group loses interest, they will let you go. Even, they will rebuild a place for you. The hell out of you, don't know if it will be rebuilt there. Collector at the moment has a guess in mind. Outside the void. A white egg-shaped spaceship at the moment stopped here. Among them, people are watching here from a distance. In fact, many people are seeing this head for the first time. Nothingness, hidden by Collector too well. If not constantly mined for hundreds of years. Constantly, and there are deals out there. They won't even know about the place. In fact, even now, few people know about it. Most people who know here are black market beings like predators. Real empires know very little here. After all, there is still a big gap between an armed organization and a real big universe empire. Like the Kree Empire, Odin knew it, but he had never seen it himself. Today, I have learned a lot. Even, he had another idea in his mind. There are too many secrets in the universe. When he is free in the future, he will look at them one by one. Ancient One at the moment also had a shocked face. Too much time on Earth. Even if she has seen Dormammu and other dimensions Mephisto. But at the moment, seeing this huge head still felt extremely suffocating. What you see with magic tools is not what you see with your own eyes after all. Sure enough, you can only experience the feeling of suffocation by seeing it with your own eyes. Serta at the moment is a little sullen. His size is already quite astonishing. But the creatures I have encountered recently are getting bigger and bigger. The celestial group is almost twice his height. Now with this head, he even felt that he had only one eye for the other party. How is this possible? His body shape can almost be said to be number one in the 9 realms. But when entering the universe, the ones encountered are bigger than the other. The only thing that can compare with this place is Ego's planet. On the spaceship, the duplicated Yi Jie also sighed a little. He has been to these places. Been here more than once. However, he knew that this place had nothing to do with him. His body brain is not this ancient god. Because his body brain is too small. Compared with the average person, his brain is big enough. But compared to this ancient god, his brain is too small. The brain that wants to fill this head, expand it dozens of times and hundreds of times to see if it can be achieved. This is still a conservative estimate. You know, Star-Lord's spaceship is no longer good. A wingspan of at least 20 or 30 meters. But the eyes that flew into the skull only occupy the most central position. This shows the size of the eye. It is precisely because of this that Serta feels that his body is only the file size of the opponent's eyes. Is it bigger than the giant spirit god? Wei Zheng looked at the huge head in front of him in astonishment. Although he already knew that the world was different. But seeing the head was still shocking. Without using the heaven and earth dharma, almost no one is bigger than this. No wonder adults want to come here, only he can know that he is not weak based on his size. Yeah, he's too weak and he can't grow so big. The Buddha kingdom in the palm of the Buddha and the Tathagata Dharma are definitely bigger than this. That's for sure, even the great sage hasn't climbed his 5 fingers mountain. That's no longer a matter of file size, it's about space magic. This world is indeed interesting. When the underworld spreads to the entire universe, we can collect the souls of the entire universe. Indeed it is. Compared to Odin Ancient One, their silence. The 4 judges were talking and laughing at the moment. Although this body is very large. But they who have seen the laws of heaven and earth are not surprised. On the contrary, the opponent only relied on his body to grow so big. It is indeed a spectacle of the times. Wait, Judge Kui, what did you just say? Qin Hao at the moment suddenly spoke. Hearing the words of several judges, Qin Hao felt a flash of inspiration. I said that the Buddha kingdom is in the palm of the Buddha and the Tathagata Dharma. That's right, that's it. Qin Hao directly interrupted Judge Kui to continue speaking. The kingdom of Buddha in the palm of your hand. Tathagata Dharma. In this world, many gods also have the ability to transform file size. Like Serta, his strength can be seen from his body shape. Serta without the eternal fire is only 5 or 6 meters. But with the eternal fire, his size directly reached hundreds of meters. This big but small appearance reminded Qin Hao of one thing. Pym particles. It doesn't matter if you have supernatural powers. It can conjure up a Dharma image that covers the sky and the sun. But someone like Serta obviously can't practice supernatural powers. However, I can still think of ways to make him bigger. Pym particles are one possible option. And man can get smaller or bigger. If you get that kind of thing, it can directly make Serta bigger. Definitely, whether you need it or not depends on your ability to master the changes of the gods. However, this is also an idea. A way to continue to improve strength. Qin Hao silently remembered this in his heart. Hila, Odin and the others didn't know what Qin Hao thought of again. They all turned their heads to look at Qin Hao at the moment. Next, shall we go in directly? Asked Hila. Yes, go in. After Qin Hao finished speaking, his whole body exuded the breath of a god. He suppressed his strength, only exuding the strength of a small galaxy level. The collector who was in the collection room suddenly turned his head. This coercion is the death god with Hila. Why did they come here? Just then, a voice came through from outside. Tiwan, I want to discuss something with you. Tiwan, I want to discuss something with you. A loud voice kept wandering in the void. Everyone in the void heard this terrifying sound. Those desperados who were entertaining even put down their bets. They have never seen this kind of thing. What's going on here? Someone went directly to Lord Tiwan. I don't know, how could someone make such a terrifying sound? That's right, how could there be such a voice, resounding through the entire void? And, is it an illusion? I always feel terrified. It turns out that I'm not the only one who feels terrified. The outlaw, miners, of the void. At the moment, I felt as if my heart was pinched. Everyone even subconsciously looked at the entrance of the land of nothingness. That huge amounts of eye area. Immediately afterwards, anyone who could see over there saw a huge amounts of white egg-shaped spaceship fly in. Collector stood up instantly from the collection room. The breath of the gods. The breath of the god beside Hela. He actually came here. Why did he come here? How dare a small galaxy-level god come here so boldly? Collector at the moment was a little angry, although he has been tolerating most of the civilizations in the universe. For example, he is full of respect for the Protoss of Asgard. Everyone who meets Asgard is polite and considerate. But it doesn't mean that he is afraid of the other party. I didn't get the power gem. There is a burst of anger in my heart. How dare you come here? Still exuding this kind of momentum, are you trying to trouble me? Or do you think that you beat off the members of the celestial group? Think you are invincible in this universe? Collector gets more and more angry because of the power gem. He who had been developing goo in the past also exuded a terrifying aura in at the moment. Constellation class. His aura firmly suppressed Chin's aura. The people of at the moment felt more and more frightened. Two terrifying auras rose constantly. They feel as if disaster is imminent. But because I don't know that this is the aura of the gods. They didn't even know where the disaster came from. Immediately afterwards, the figure of Collector appeared in front of everyone. The moment when you see Collector, a sense of enlightenment flashed in everyone's mind. Collector. Very dangerous. Stay away from him. Eastern Death God. I don't know what you want to discuss with me here. Tiwan stood on a small airship, quietly watching the egg-shaped spaceship. The coercion of the small galaxy level is transmitted from inside. The entire top of the egg-shaped spaceship is directly folded like an open canopy. In the blink of an eye, a spaceship becomes a flight platform. Collector's pupils constricted as he watched the number of people inside. Australian King Ding, Fire Titan Serta, God Egg, constantly meditating in his heart. Every time he saw a person clearly, he felt a shock. He has already met Chinhao and Hila, but Odin actually showed up too. This is something he could never have imagined. Odin, isn't there a conflict with Hila? What's more, he actually saw Serta and Odin walking together in this team. This is even more impossible. Don't others know he doesn't know? Asgard Ragnara paragraph mark K. How could they appear together? What shocked Collector even more was that he actually saw the god Ego in the team. This is a real god. A god who has survived for millions of years. Even, Collector once thought of collecting Ego. But when he found out, Egg was already quite strong. At that time, Ego was already a planet of astonishing size. Collector can't collect each other anymore. I had no choice but to give up. Now, the other party is actually with Death God. Could it be that they used to be together? As for the four judges and Ancient One, Collector doesn't even know each other. Chinhao's audience felt the aura of Collector. Constellation class. Tiwan, you really are not as simple as you appear. Odin at the moment walked forward. Odin, what are you doing here? I have always treated you Asgard with courtesy, have I not offended you? Collector really doesn't know where he offended Odin. Anyway, he felt the demon from Odin. Malice to oneself. Tivin, you are a god, and treat us Asgard with courtesy. Are you mocking us? Mocking, where does that come from? Collector was stunned. Isn't it a mockery? You, a constellation-level god, treat a level god father with courtesy, isn't this a mockery? He keeps saying that he is a god king, and he doesn't know what he is thinking in his heart. Only the powerful will have such a mentality towards the inferior. And you, a god, actually treat me like a heavenly father, isn't that just a joke of me? Thousands of years ago, I thought you were really a serious collector. But now it seems that you are the most dishonest. Quote. Odin shook his head. Never mind if your collector is mocking or not. Now I think you are mocking. I, Odin, traveled across the 9 realms, killing until the sky was dark and the earth was dark. It's just that I've never been so angry with you. For thousands of years, the ghost knows how you laughed at me. Boom. Odin exploded with his momentum in a blink of an eye. Early constellation. A terrifying aura is constantly crisscrossing the void. Many people were directly stunned by this momentum. The aura exuded by Qin Hao and Collector was just to say hello. Tell the other party that you are here. Tell the other person your momentum. But Odin, it's time to do it. Collector sensed Odin's momentum. His eyes widened. How is this possible? How can you break through to the god level? Why can't I break through? Odin's rhetorical question made Collector ask instead. Yes, why can't he break through? But in a blink of an eye he dismissed the idea. This is your confidence, so you want to come to me and give me a blow, so we can talk about things. Collector seemed to understand what Qin Hao and the others were going to do. Intimidate yourself, then talk serious. As for what to talk about, when I am overwhelmed, I have to listen to them in everything I talk about. Shock. If you think so, you are right. You have lied to me for thousands of years, and you are not allowed to shock you. Odin was unforgiving, although at the moment is actually unreasonable. Collector's eyes became a little dangerous. Constellation level, this is your confidence. It's a pity that it doesn't work for me. Boom. A more powerful aura rose from Collector's body. Star class. Collector directly raised the aura to the star field level. At this moment, almost all the people in the entire void passed out. How could they resist this momentum? The imposing manner of the star field level came oppressively. Odin couldn't help taking a step back. Moreover, Collector's aura is not only aimed at Odin alone. His aura swept over everyone on Qin Hao's side, like overwhelming the sky and covering the earth. It seems that T1 really wants to give everyone a big blow this time. Everyone, stop hiding and let the Collector see your strength. Quote. Qin Hao said at the moment with a somewhat indifferent tone. Hearing Qin Hao's words, Collector's eyes changed. Could it be that the other party is more than that? Just as he was thinking, a momentum rose instantly. Late stage of the small galaxy class. Lof was a little embarrassed. I really can't bear it. He is the weakest and the first to act under the pressure of the Collector. If he didn't resist, he might be ashamed. I can't stand it anymore. Boom. Another terrifying momentum rose. The pinnacle of the small galaxy class. Serta. Boom. 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 4 consecutive auras rose instantly. Hila. The 4 of them are the same as Odin, constellation level, elementary level. This time, Collector swallowed. But his fright was destined to continue. Boom. Boom. 2 more powerful auras appeared again. Constellation middle term. Ancient One. Zhang Kui. Immediately afterwards, Collector subconsciously looked at Yi Zhe. He remembered that Yi Zhe seemed to be at the late stage of the constellation level or at the peak. Next, he should be exuding momentum, right? In fact it is. Boom. A terrifying aura that was as terrifying as his Collector instantly appeared from Ego's body. Star field level. Collector's voice has changed. T1, it seems that you are full of hostility towards us. I just came to say hello to you. You actually frightened us with your aura. I don't know, where does your hostility towards us come from? Qin Hao at the moment took another step forward. Boom. Qin Hao's momentum broke through instantly. The late stage aura of the small galaxy class is just an appearance. The pinnacle of the star field. In fact, just ascension, Collector couldn't help taking a step back. Until at the moment, Collector was in a trance. 11 gods. A whole 11. The 11 people on the opposite side are all gods. Moreover, the strength on the other side is too strong. The weakest is the small galaxy class. There are only 2 more. 7 constellation levels. There are 7 constellation levels. Collector thought he was going crazy. Constellation level gods, are they so worthless? What made him drool the most was Qin Hao, who he thought was only a small galaxy level. The pinnacle of the star field. Only 1 step away from stepping into the large galaxy class. In other words, Qin Hao revealed the breadth of the gods at the beginning, and it was really just to say hello to himself. Because, I have experienced the momentum of the other party. However, when I thought the other party was provocative, he actually wanted to overwhelm the opponent with his momentum. Now, 11 gods have been directly squeezed out. Cough, cough, misunderstanding, all misunderstandings. Collector quickly restrained his aura. He put on a smiling face at the moment. This is his signature. See Collector restraining breath. Everyone on Qin Hao's side restrained their breath. However, all the fanatics in the entire void have fallen into a coma. It's a rare quiet place in nothingness. Misunderstanding. Just a misunderstanding. Qin Hao nodded. He knows that Collector is very strong. Able to live for millions of years. Even Egg has become a star-level god. He didn't believe that Collector's ability was inferior to that of Ego. He even knew that the Starfield-level strength that Collector is displaying now might not be his true strength. You know, Collector's brother Gao Tianzun built a coliseum. The mighty warriors of countless universes will fight there. Gao Tianzun has a powerful army. He is the king over there. Why did he overwhelm everyone? Why do those powerful fighters have to listen to him? If you don't have any strength, how can you do it? From Gao Tianzun, it can be judged that Collector must also have good strength. The key question is how strong his strength is. Collector enthusiastically welcomed the group into his collection room. I don't know what you Qian Hao are here for this time. He finally began to ask everyone why they came. Tiwan, I came to you this time for one thing, to give up the head of this ancient god. It will be useful to us in hell. Qin Hao took the initiative to speak. Hearing Qin Hao's words, the expressions of the others behind him instantly became formal. Hell works. They all memorized these 4 words. If hell is useful, it means that their strength is likely to go one step further. You want this head? Collector really has some hesitation. Yes, we want this head. Hila was quite sure. If Collector disagrees with the trend of playing a game today, Collector is a little tangled. You know my hobbies, I just like to collect a little bit of all kinds of things in the universe. Everyone nodded in understanding. I actually chose to move my collection here. In fact, I just took a fancy to the head of this ancient god. In the entire universe, there are too few ancient gods. At the beginning, I also fell in love with Yi-Geta's brain. But it was too late when I found out. Afterwards, it took me countless hours to finally find this place. This head is actually my collection. And living in my collection is bitter. Do you know the feeling of happiness? When Collector said this, he seemed a little excited. That's the way you show it to something you love. Qin Hao frowned. Hila at the moment sneered. If you want to continue living in the collection, then you will be dragged into our hell with you. When you get to hell, you can live as you want. Quote. Collector looked at Hila instantly after hearing the words. Even me dragged into hell. Can you drag me into hell? Even me to hell. Can you drag me to hell? Collector immediately became energetic when he heard this. We represent hell, do you think we can? Hila at the moment was full of sarcasm. Have you forgotten who we are? But Qin Hao's heart skipped a beat when he saw Collector's appearance. This guy, can't he really lose a bet with death? Afterwards he was denied entry into the kingdom of death by death. He is so excited now, can't it be because he really wants to go to hell? Can you really let me go to hell? Come on, let me go to hell. I have been so kind to you Asgard. I just thought maybe you could pull me into hell. I thought you were too weak to do it. But now listen to what you said, combined with your strength. It might really send me to hell. Quote, Collector went crazy. He actually spoke the truth that had been buried for thousands of years. The reason he was being polite to Asgard. Just to go to hell. Although Hela is too weak as the goddess of death, it is impossible to bring him into hell. But he must have something to look forward to. Maybe what if the goddess of death really pulls him in one day? Or, one day she pulled herself in, and death didn't drive itself out. Anyway, it's all a hope. At least the other party is likely to fulfill his wish. Great. The performance of Collector at the moment made everyone feel wrong. Why do you want to go to hell? Ancient One is fairly safe. She asked proactively. Collector restrained his emotions, and then began to explain. I lost my bet with death, and she has never let me enter her kingdom ever since. In fact, I didn't live so long because I became a god and had the power of immortality. It's because I can't die, so I have survived for so long to reach this strength. I want to go to hell in my dreams. It would be great if you can really drag me into hell. Collector didn't hide. These things have passed through endless years. No one here knows. Even Qin Hao only knew a rough idea. Why did bet against death? Why doesn't death want his soul? It's all a mystery. Hearing Collector's words, everyone's heart trembled. Rejected by death. Maybe some people don't understand. But those who understand are more terrified in their hearts at the moment. Collector is actually related to death. Hila knows who the Death Collector is talking about. Strictly speaking, it's her immediate boss. Everything that is attributed to death has to do with death. And she, Hela, is just the goddess of death. Death doesn't let Collector die. Then the Collector really cannot die. She, Hela, can't help it either. Because in her cognition, even the underworld belongs to the category of death. In that way, the Yin Sao De Fu cannot do such a thing. She subconsciously looked at Qin Hao. Sure enough, she saw the scene of her worry. Qin Hao frowned. Souls rejected by death, will we be sent to hell to be annotated by death originally? Something murmured in his mouth. But here are all masters, everyone has heard Qin Hao's words. Will not be dead originally annotated. This is something no one can guarantee. Annotated by death, perhaps, she will keep watching me. At least, she'll see me when I die. Quote, Collector did not hide this matter. As he said, death will definitely comment on him. Death does not want him. Once he dies, death will deny his soul entry into the kingdom of death. At that time, death will definitely see the Collector. I have to think again whether to pull you into the underworld. You've lived forever, and I don't think I'd mind waiting a little longer. Qin Hao temporarily rejected Collector. Collector's problem is not the same as Ancient One. Ancient One is eternally annotated. Collector is watched by death. Ancient One went to hell, her soul is still there. When there is a need for eternity, maybe he can directly take away his soul. And, as long as Ancient One's soul is no longer active in hell, even if eternity is annotated, it may not be a big problem. The soul is not his authority. He definitely doesn't care. But Collector is different. Once death is discovered, the Collector has entered the underworld. In an instant, you will find that Qin Hao's hell is not under her command. At that time, it was the time when death launched an attack on the underworld. With the current situation, Qin Hao doesn't have any confidence to fight the opponent. Not to mention death, even the celestial god group, he doesn't have the strength to fight now. Otherwise, he wouldn't need Dormammu to take the blame for the celestial group that appeared last time. Hearing Qin Hao's words, Collector was a little disappointed. But not too disappointed. Hell is subordinate to death. It is certain that he dare not kill himself privately. Endless years come and go. He didn't know how many times he had experienced such a scene. I understand, but in this way, the head of the ancient god will be your fee for dragging me into hell in the future. Collector can also think about it. The reason why he constantly collects things. Isn't it just to keep myself from going crazy in the endless years? Even if the things are given out this time, later, I can collect new things full of desire. Even those who have already collected things. At that time, I can still collect it again. This was originally a way to keep myself occupied and not crazy. So while he does really want his own collection, however, the process of collecting these things is originally also a kind of fun. Keep it fun without being crazy. Qin Hao nodded. I can satisfy your request, and I will come to you when I am sure that I can drag you to hell. However, although you cannot go to hell right away, it will allow you to see hell. Quote, Qin Hao has his own judgment. As long as I don't fix Collector's soul in hell. Even if the Collector enters the underworld, Qin Hao can throw the other party out. Not a big problem. On the contrary, it can let Collector see the power of the underworld. Maybe it can make the other party become a person in the underworld at a critical moment. Every powerful person joins the underworld. This was originally an improvement to the underworld. An early glimpse of hell. I'd be interested to see. Collector is also interested. Qin Hao was not talking. Let's leave here first, we can't see the changes here, it's better to go outside. This time, Ku directly asked everyone to leave. Every transformation is on the surface. But the head of the ancient god is inside the head. So if you want to see the change, it is best to go outside. A group of people waved all the fainted people out of their heads. A group of gods took action, and it was really easy to clean up the people inside. At the moment, I have to say that the head is huge. Wait until everyone is sent out. Spaceships densely packed outside the head floated in the void. Inside the head of the ancient god, only Qin Hao was left. Even Hela and them Shendu are sent out these days. He said, let me see hell, how should I see it? Collector at the moment stood with the crowd. He looked at the head of this ancient god with nostalgia. If this DBCF thing enters the underworld, I will lose it completely. In the entire universe, I don't know if I can find the second one. Thinking of this, he subconsciously glanced at Egg. If it doesn't work, when will I go be collected? His hand was about to move. Just wait, the 5 stars in hell are beyond ordinary people's imagination. Hela at the moment's attention is on the head of the ancient god in the distance. This time, Qinhao didn't say what's the use of this thing. This made her not know what Qinhao was going to do. In the head of the ancient god, everyone left, except for Qinhao. He looked at the system prompt. The system prompt that has appeared since he came here. When a special corpse is detected, an incomplete soul is detected, whether to send it to the underworld. That's the cue he got when he stepped in here. Not transformed into hell. Instead, it was sent to the underworld. Special, bones. Inside, there is still an incomplete soul. If you want to divide, you can even think that he is a dead. An undead with only a head. Those undead are originally undead with bodies. There may be a little bit of soul in the body to enable them to move. In the words of Yinsao Defu, it means that the 3 souls and 7 souls are incomplete. System, pull the head of the ancient god into the underworld space. Ding, accept the host's order, and the power of the underworld will attract the special bones. Boom, boom. At the moment, there was a crazy vibration in the entire void. It was as if the void was about to be shattered. Countless people woke up from this shock. What's going on here? We're in a spaceship like this. I don't know, the last memory I have is feeling like a disaster is coming and then I don't remember it. I'm about the same as you. I always feel that something is going to happen today. Could it be that Lord Tiwan also felt that something was going to happen, so he sent us out? I don't know, but what you said is also possible. We're all out, what the hell are we going to do here? Look, is Lord Tiwan over there? Really? Lord Tiwan was kicked out too. What the hell is going on here? Then, they saw something that they will never forget. A monstrous huge amounts of ancient celestial head. It gradually becomes transparent in front of them. In the end, it completely disappeared in front of my eyes. It was as if nothing had ever happened to Ben here. They have obviously lived and worked here for a long time. However, in the blink of an eye, my workplace disappeared. On the other side, Collector looked here with agitated expression. Is this how Morag disappeared? At the moment, he finally knew why Morag disappeared. That's right, Morag disappeared just like that. Hila responded, but at the moment, she actually had some doubts in her heart. Not only him, but all the members of the underworld. Members are a little puzzled. So quiet. Never before has an underworld renovation been so quiet. Their strength has not changed. Even the underworld doesn't seem to have changed much. I'll go back to the underworld to take a look. Serta couldn't bear it at first. After he finished speaking, the whole person disappeared in place in an instant. Immediately afterwards, the 4 judges also disappeared directly. After that, Odin, Loth, Ancient One, Hela, and Ego all chose to return to the underworld directly. Throughout the scene, Collector and his men were left looking at each other. Gone. Collector always felt as if he was being scammed. Things were given, but I didn't see anything. Not right, I saw the other party disappear. This is the end. In hell, the huge head of the ancient god shuttled through hell. Helm Hades, Ice Hell, Volcano Hell. In the end, the gigantic head of the ancient god came directly to hell of undeserved death. And this layer of hell is precisely the transformation of Vomir Star. At the moment, I don't know how much it has been enlarged. Even if the head of the ancient gods is placed here, it is just like a mountain. A head like a planet can only be regarded as a mountain here. This shows how huge this layer of hell is now. Standing in the head of the ancient god, Qinhao clearly saw how it came here through various hells. Or, in fact, it was sent by the system on purpose. Why did I come to this hell? Qinhao was full of doubts. Boom. Finally, the head of the ancient god stopped at one position. The location once guarded by the Red Skull. On the edge of that cliff. His head plunged fiercely into the bottom of the cliff. This cliff, which has been expanded many times, is directly filled with heads. Not only was it fully occupied, it directly became a mountain of people's heads. Red Skull at the moment, who was nostalgic on the edge of the cliff, stared dumbfounded at everything in front of him. I have guarded the cliff for decades. Just disappeared. And that huge head is obviously out of place here. However, it just smashed into the cliff so simply. Red Skull looked up at the summit of the ancient god's head. Then he gave up. Too close. The top of the ancient god's head could not be seen at all. Among the heads, Qin Hao was also dumbfounded. There was no one here, so he didn't manage his expression. In his mind, the voice of the system rang constantly. Ding, a defective soul has been detected. Has the soul gem filled the missing soul? Ding, a defective soul was detected. Do you want to fill up the missing soul with soul gem? The prompt from the system left Qin Hao dumbfounded. He at the moment finally understood why the system transferred the head here. Vomir Star. Today's vain hell. Soul gem is here. The reason why Qin Hao came here in the first place. It's because there is soul gem here. He felt that this place should be very suitable for the existence of souls. Now, even the heads of ancient gods with incomplete souls have come here to prepare their souls. What are the benefits and consequences of replenishing the soul? Qin Hao asked. It is impossible for him to complete the soul of this big guy without knowing a little bit of information. And, this is completed with soul gem. 1. The ancient gods who complete the soul can reach star cluster level strength, and the limit is close to level universe. The ancient gods who complement the soul are controlled by soul gem. Quote. 3. Soul gem is in hell and controlled by hell. 4th, even if the soul has not been fully completed, once the soul of the ancient god is activated, it can still exert part of its strength. 5. Because it is the soul gem that complements the souls of the creatures killed by it will all return to the underworld. 6th, the completion of the ancient god's soul will attract the enemies who destroyed the ancient god in the first place. 7th, other issues are left for the host to explore on its own. The system lists the questions after completing the soul one by one. Star cluster level. The limit is close to level universe. Qin Hao was startled when he heard this. This is the most powerful person in the single universe. However, the ancient god who complements the soul will attract the opponents who killed him back then. Able to kill a god whose limit is close to level universe. The opponent is at least level single universe. It is even possible to reach a multi-universe. That is the power of the creation gods of eternity and death. Could it be that this ancient god was killed by the creation god? In this way, the trouble will be big. However, if he is not in a hurry to complete it, the strength he can display is actually limited. So I can take advantage of this and complete part of it first. It is enough to let the ancient gods show part of their strength first. Quote. Qin Hao had a plan in mind. Now that it is complete, it will attract the opponent's target. Then I will never make up for it. In the end, it was almost filled up a little bit. At that time, the ancient gods might still be able to reach the star cluster level. As for the star cluster level, that is a terrifying existence above the large galaxy level. Second only to the strength of the single universe. Yes, it can be done. The ancient gods are controlled by soul gem. Soul gem is now a thing from hell. Enemies killed by the ancient gods will be returned to hell. Also, I have never been able to find soul gem. Also don't want to kill someone and get the soul gem. Now replenish the soul of the ancient gods. Also makes soul gem work. The only question is, will stripping the soul gem make the ancient gods die again? Qin Hao thought of more questions. Soul gem, it's time to work. The space, mind, and power gems have all been integrated into hell. Among the ownerless gems that I know, soul gem does not appear. The point is, it's still on its own turf. I can't use it myself. There is always an uncomfortable feeling. Qin Hao was thinking here, and the passage to hell behind him gradually opened. A group of hell members at the moment came to this level of hell one after another. Hila, Odin, and Ancient One looked at this place on the former, broken soul cliff, with shocking faces. Now, a terrifying mountain of human heads is standing here. Qin Hao was like a little ant in front of this human head mountain. Beside him is Red Skull, the prisoner of this level of hell. During this time, Red Skull was passively boosted in strength. His current strength has also reached the level Godfather who has just entered. It doesn't look very powerful though. But this layer has Soul Gem. He is an Asgardian from Soul Gem. Here, no one can hurt him. Dealing with those spirit ghosts is completely enough. Qin, why did he come here? What Hela asked was the head of the ancient god. Qin Hao looked back at everyone. Did you ever know that the underworld in the east has something to say about souls? A person's soul is divided into 3 souls and 7 souls. If the 3 souls and 7 souls are incomplete, various problems will arise. Such as being stupid, mentally incomplete, and mentally prone to problems. Even if it is dead, the evil ghost is also an abnormal soul. Quote. When everyone heard this, they subconsciously nodded. Qin Mo was right, but they don't know what this matter has to do with the present. In the head of this ancient god, there are still unknown souls. Our hell is originally the home of the soul. At some point, he was able to summon back his soul scattered in the universe. Once his soul will return, it is a terrifying soul. Quote. After Qin Hao finished speaking, the people behind at the moment opened their mouths. You mean, you can bring his soul back to life? Odin was the first to react. This is exactly the method of the underworld. Zhang Kui gave an affirmative answer. If he comes back to life, what will happen? Ji Yu has always been very conservative. Ask about consequences first. For the time being, there are no consequences, because we may not be able to really summon his soul. These countless years have passed, who knows if his soul is still there. If it dissipates, then you can only think of other ways. Quote. Qin Hao is an understatement. With Soul Gem, how could it not be complete? If it really not complete, it just that you don't want to make it up. Whether it can be filled is another story. If the soul is really filled, will he betray? Will he be detrimental to the underworld? Ancient One has always worried about this problem. The most powerful talent in the underworld is only the Starfield level peak. Even in the underworld, most can only display the strength of the initial stage of the large galaxy level. In case the strength of this big guy exceeds this level. If this big guy doesn't obey orders, that is the biggest trouble for the underworld. Don't worry about this, the underworld is always the most effective in dealing with souls, and he can't escape. What's more, his soul was completed by the underworld. If you really want to make trouble, just destroy his soul. Quote. Qin Hao explained. Hearing this, everyone was relieved. Since this is the case, what are you waiting for? Such a big guy is really worth looking forward to. Serta at the moment is extremely excited. His body of hundreds of meters is also small in front of this head. The planet ego is huge, but his body is just a brain. No one can compare with what is in front of you. Everyone, in fact, is looking forward to the appearance of a big guy. It seems that everyone's opinions are more consistent. Then let's see if a miracle will happen. Qin Hao turned around and looked at the head of the ancient god. System, complete the soul of the ancient gods. Ding, accept the host's order and start to complement the ancient god's soul. Mobilize the power of the underworld to search for the souls of ancient gods. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw a somewhat shocking scene. The whole world of hell seems to seep into the real world. Centered on the head of the ancient god, a huge attraction appeared. These attractions only work on the souls of the ancient gods. Any other souls in real-world matter are unaffected. A moment later, one after another terrifying phantoms began to gather from all over the universe. Those are the souls of the ancient gods who have been scattered. Even after endless years, these souls have not been obliterated. Souls one after another directly entered the head of the ancient gods. The real universe outside. Some powerful figures suddenly looked in one direction. They clearly feel as if something is moving in the universe, but just don't know what it is. Collector was in a daze in the original Nothingness. My collection is gone. I was sent to the underworld by myself. But then, his expression changed drastically. A huge amount of phantom appeared in the void in front of him. That way, it is the ancient god. Immediately afterwards, the phantom gradually became transparent, just like the head of the ancient god disappeared. Could it be that hell is summoning the souls of the ancient gods again? Not only did they want to take away the heads of the ancient gods, want to take his soul, or, their original target was actually the head of the ancient god. Want the head, just to complete the soul collection ceremony. Collector is getting more and more confused now. This head has existed for endless years. No one wants to use him. This hell seems to be really different from those hells. Collector at the moment is suddenly full of anticipation. Maybe, I can really die for a while. Hell in vain. Everyone at the moment left the head of the ancient god far away. There is a terrible wind in this hell. It was the yin energy raised by the souls of the ancient gods when they passed through the hell of death in vain. His soul is too big. Even some broken souls. It was enough to set off a storm. One after another, the souls directly entered the head. Everyone even felt that the head was about to come back to life. However, when the last phantom melted into the head, the world finally quieted down. 1 soul and 4 souls. Unexpectedly, there are still 1 soul and 4 souls, only 2 souls and 3 souls are left. Qin Hao looked at everything in front of him and sighed in his heart. After endless years, the souls of the ancient gods still have 1 soul and 4 souls. This is the embodiment of strength. System, make up 1 soul and 3 souls, and keep 1 soul and don't make up for the time being. Ding, accept the host's request and make up 1 soul and 3 souls. The system directly starts mobilizing the power of Soul Gem. A Spirit Fox Gem has infiltrated directly from the Hell of Death in vain. Then it directly merged into the soul of the ancient gods. The ancient gods, the soul returns. Qin Hao drank lightly in his mouth. Boom, boom, the whole Hell of Death at the moment frenzied trembling. The ancient god's head twisted constantly. 0. It's as if a hand is playing with it. Boom, boom. Everyone looked at everything in front of them in shock. 1. Huge amounts of figure gradually stood up from the head of the ancient god. Head, neck, chest, shoulders, abdomen, waist, crotch, thighs, calves, feet. When the phantom of the soul finally appeared, everyone raised their necks and looked towards the sky. Too high. My neck is sore. Almost all the creatures in the Hell of Death in vain looked up at the sky. There, a terrifying huge phantom is standing in the Hell of Death in vain. The soul at the moment seemed a little confused. His eyes were even cloudy. There is still a feint, he is still in a state of dementia at the moment. Still, he knows who his master is. It was the figure so small that it was almost invisible on the ground. Grown-ups, he speaks out, but directly set off a gust of wind. Countless souls in the entire hell of undeserved death kept flying. Even a group of gods at the moment had to continue to retreat. This, how could it be so strong? Zhang Kui's expression changed wildly at the moment. So powerful, he didn't even have the desire to fight. Others at the moment also had crazy complexion changes. Is this the large galaxy level or above the large galaxy level? Odin really couldn't judge how powerful this soul was. Because, they have not even seen the large galaxy level. Not to mention those above the large galaxy level. I don't know, now, I don't know how terrifying this big guy's strength has reached. It seems that he is a bit unintelligent. 3 souls and 7 souls are incomplete, this soul is obviously incomplete. Qin, what is he going to do now? A group of people kept moving away from the head of the ancient god. While discussing the topic, they dare not approach each other. Can't even get close to each other. Qin Manling stood empty. A terrifying phantom appeared behind him, even bigger than the head of the ancient gods. Qin Hao quietly looked at the phantom of the soul of the ancient god. On the forehead of this phantom, an orange light spot exudes a soft light. Qin Hao knew in his heart that it was Soul Gem. Kill the soul of this ancient god to get Soul Gem. But, who can do it? Next, it's time to reshape the divine body. However, this time, I can't die in hell again. After Qin Hao finished speaking, he directly opened a passage. Immediately afterwards, he stepped through the passage. The souls of the ancient gods also followed. A vast expanse of whiteness. The steaming water vapor made the whole hell see the figure. Qin Hao and the heads of the ancient gods entered here. The huge coercion directly scattered the water vapor. Qin Hao turned his head to look at the ancient god. Today, the ancient god of heaven is bestowed the position of warden of the steamer hell. Today, the ancient god of heaven is bestowed the position of warden of the steamer hell. Qin Hao's voice spread throughout the 6 hells. All living beings on every level of hell heard this voice. Even, a picture appeared in front of the eyes of countless underworld employees. In the picture, it is the scene where Qin Hao canonized the ancient gods as the steamer hell. The huge phantom of some dull ancient god slowly knelt down. Follow the order. Boom. Just when huge phantom knelt down to accept the order. The entire underworld trembled crazily in an instant. Helm Hades. The ice hell that Jotunheim became. The volcanic hell that Muspelheim became. The hell that Vomir Star turned into. The stone pressure hell that Yesh Star turned into. Including the steamer hell where Morag, where the Phantom is, turned into. Every hell is vibrating madly. Countless souls at the moment felt a terrifying energy constantly injected into their souls. Ancient One and Odin from Hell who died in vain showed shock at the moment. But it's more of an, as expected, expression. Their momentum, at the moment, rose crazily. This, such a powerful soul joins the underworld. How terrifying will this promotion be? Loth at the moment is full of anticipation. That soul is too powerful. Blow them all away in one breath. Such terrifying souls are at least at the level of large galaxies. Possibly even star cluster class. Even when constellation level Egg joined the team, they were promoted by one level. Now more powerful celestials join in. They can at least raise one level. This is still the least. Joining Hell and improving strength is so simple. Odin couldn't help but sigh. Yeah, I knew earlier, so why wait so long? Serta's face was full of excitement. Steamer Hell. The huge phantom behind Chin-Hao held a scroll that covered the sky and the earth in his hand. Book of Life and Death. The moment when the ancient gods agreed. His name appeared in the Book of Life and Death. Hot. Just one word. As for Chin-Hao, he felt the feedback from the ancient gods. Ding, the underworld has been bound to the soul of a key person, and the underworld has the priority to collect the soul. The first large galaxy-level god, incomplete, is converted to the Oriental god system, and the system rewards are issued. Reward 1. The first large galaxy-level god to change jobs, and the strength of all members of the underworld will increase by 1 level. Reward 2. The first god who surpasses the host realm joins the underworld, and the host's strength is greatly improved. Reward 3. Increase the number of yin soldiers and generals in each hell. Reward 4. Increase the number of ecstasy envoys. Reward 5. The scope of radiation in the underworld is expanded, and the scope of attracting souls is expanded. The incomplete ancient gods are actually at the level of large galaxies. And Chin-Hao also knows that he is the pinnacle of the galaxy level. Even though he has 2 souls and 7 souls now. It seems that the soul can't be affected. This soul will directly affect the souls of the entire ancient gods. If he fills up the soul, he will be at the peak of the star cluster. The limit is close to level single universe. Then at the moment, he directly dropped a whole realm. And this realm represents hundreds of thousands of times more power. Isn't it normal for a star cluster to have thousands of large galaxies? That's the difference. At the moment he joined, all the members of the underworld went one step further in strength. Yi Zhe directly reached the middle stage of the star field level. Zhang Kui and Ancient One have reached the late constellation stage. The trio of judges, Hela, and Odin have directly entered the constellation medium level. Serta goes straight to the constellation class. Even Loth has reached the pinnacle of the small galaxy level. And Chin-Hao's changes were even more astonishing. The first god to surpass the realm of Chin-Hao to join. You know, it didn't matter if it was Odin, Hela, Ancient One, or Egg. Their strength realm has always been inferior to Chin-Hao. But this time, the ancient god surpassed him. Chin-Hao's strength is only at the peak of the star field level. But the ancient gods are directly the pinnacle of the large galaxy level. It is a whole realm higher than him. All of this terrifying power directly returned to Chin-Hao. The strength of the pinnacle of the star field level breaks through instantly. The beginning of the large galaxy class. The midterm of the large galaxy class. Late stage of the large galaxy class. The pinnacle of the big galaxy. Chin-Hao's strength came to the same position as the ancient gods in a blink of an eye. However, his realm did not stop. Boom. In the blink of an eye, Chin-Hao's aura has reached the early stage of star cluster level. This time, his strength once again suppressed all hell members. Until this time, his aura did not stop. Ding, the strength of the host has broken through the barrier. Ding, the strength of the host has broken through the barrier. The host breaks through 2 layers of barriers in a row, and the system rewards are adjusted. Reward 1. The 6 layers of hell that have been built continue to expand. Reward 2. Increase the number of yin soldiers and generals in each hell. Reward 3. increase the number of ecstasy envoys. Reward 4. The scope of radiation in the underworld is expanded, and the scope of attracting souls is expanded. The scope of hell is expanding crazily. By the way, all the members of the underworld have improved their strength again. More importantly, Qin Hao broke through 2 major realms this time. This feedback to the underworld is to let all members upgrade to 2 small realms. Yi Zhe directly reached the pinnacle of the star field level. Zhang Kui and Ji Yuda reached the initial stage of the star field level. The trio of judges, Hila, and Odin directly entered the peak constellation level. Serta has entered the late constellation level. Even Lof is in the middle of the constellation class. This is what happened in the blink of an eye. The strength of the underworld will come after the ancient gods join. In an instant, it became countless times stronger. The highest combat power went directly from the peak of the star field level to the early stage of the star cluster level. Such a terrifying improvement is simply beyond imagination. And the scope of the 6 hells, at the moment, is even more boundless. The most excited one was Egg. He originally wanted to reshape thousands of planets and still had to wait for another god to join. But now, he doesn't need it. The pinnacle of the star field. This is a realm that he didn't even dare to imagine before. Going one step further, it will be at the level of a large galaxy. Destroy the entire galaxy with all your might. As for the others, at the moment was also shocked. Too strong, too fast. It's only been a while, and their strength has undergone earth-shaking changes. No one feels bad about joining hell anymore. Especially something like Ancient One. She even had an illusion. Now she can solo Dormammu. Definitely, it's just an illusion. Dormammu represents the dark dimension. That's a small universe. In that Fang universe, his strength is the level single universe, it's just set like this. However, after entering the real world, they will be suppressed by the client. On Earth, it can even only display the peak strength of level Godfather. Even if you go all out to enter the real universe, his strength can't reach level single universe either. If he was really that powerful, he might have devoured the entire real universe long ago. So Dormammu's strength is at the most star cluster level in the real universe. Even if his dark dimension wasn't big enough, it may not even reach the star cluster level. Definitely, no one knows what his strength is. But there is one thing, it is definitely not something that Ancient One can do alone now. Ancient One star field level, still far away. The endless expansion of hell. Morag's location in the real universe. At the moment the 8 figures have come here. Seeker, small galaxy class. Analyst, small galaxy class. Collector, constellation class. Calculator, constellation class. Measurer, constellation class. Explorer, star domain system level. Tester, star field system level. Prosecutor, great galaxy class. We were the hell we didn't get into here. The searcher took the initiative to speak. There is indeed a phenomenon of space folding here, it seems that hell has been pulled into another dimension. The explorers, who are more powerful than the searchers, searched. There was an affirmative answer. The searcher searches for life. And explorers explore planets. Searchers need only enter the planet to see life. Explorers need to find planets in the vast universe. So the strength of the two is different. The greater the responsibility, the stronger the strength. The stronger the strength, the greater the responsibility. If that's the case, then tear down that barrier of hell and take them out of the disk. The prosecutor spoke calmly. Clear. The tester was ordered to start working directly. Boom. His hands seemed to have penetrated into a dimensional void. He began to use his strength. It's as if he's grabbing something and trying to tear it apart. At the moment, he was grasping the barriers belonging to hell. The moment when his hand touched hell, Qin Hao directly felt this force. At the moment he has 2 options. The first is to hide hell and transfer hell to deep space. Then the tester will no longer be able to find the existence of hell. Qin Hao is now at the star cluster level. Without the power of the star cluster, it is impossible to discover his existence. Even if it is a star cluster level, it has to be 1 or 2 small realms higher than him. The second option is to ignore the other party. The opponent is only at the star field level, and it is impossible to tear the barriers of hell. To tear open this barrier requires stronger strength than discovering hell. It is conservatively estimated that they all have to be late stages of important star clusters. Even star cluster level peak. However, Qin Hao did not choose these two options. He directly chose the third one. The God group is coming, you go to face them. Qin Hao's voice sounded. Odin et al. At the moment is when the strength is advancing. I just want to find an opponent to fight well. And the celestial group is undoubtedly the best opportunity. Qin Hao let go of the barriers of hell. The testers finally tear open the barriers of hell. Immediately afterwards, he froze. Boom, boom, the terrifying momentum echoed in hell. There are 10 breaths of gods. Except for Qin Hao and the ancient gods who hid their auras. Everyone else wantonly let go of their aura. A star domain pinnacle. In the early days of the 2-star fields. The pinnacle of the 5 constellations. A late constellation. A mid-constellation. Not a small galaxy class. Not even a starburst. This is what's hidden in hell. Terror force. The moment when the barriers of hell were torn apart. The 10 breaths came to the void of the universe in an instant. This time, they directly surrounded the 8 members of the celestial group. We are protecting the world from the dark Mephisto. Why have you come to tear down the barriers we have created? Hela at the moment is murderous. If they wanted to make a move, they would naturally have to find a good reason for themselves. Such an amazing lineup. Everyone in the Tiantian group was stunned at the moment. Small galaxy-class searchers and analysts at the moment find them out of place. They discovered that the last time it was only a small galaxy-level ancient one. At the moment and people have reached the initial stage of the star field level. And those half-step gods last time. At the moment has also been promoted one after another. What happened inside? Why did your strength rise to such a terrifying level? The analyst tries to analyze. He wants to know more information. Since you left, Dormammu has invaded this dimension many times. As a last resort, we must find more powerful gods to stop each other. Quote. Ancient One, explained, a sentence. Anyway, it's what they say. It is you are the god who connects the dark Mephisto. You are actually so powerful now. Quote. The collector looked at Ancient One in shock. The opponent has surpassed him in the big realm. How long has it been? Fighting against the dark Mephisto, how is it possible that the strength is too weak? The time you feel is external time. We have fought Mephisto for ages in hell. You gods don't understand at all. Quote. Ancient One at the moment directly started to flicker. She is pregnant with the time gem. If the other party doesn't believe it, she can even pull everyone directly into the field of time. There, all will be affected. Hearing Ancient One's words, all the members of the celestial group fell silent. In the end, it was the most powerful large galaxy-level prosecutor who spoke. We have no way of judging what you say. But what you do may affect the world. We can't let this happen. Please come back to the Tenjin base camp with us. The coordinates of the dark dimension Mephisto should be on your body. We'll help you cancel that coordinate. After that, we tried to destroy that dark Mephisto. Quote. The prosecutor presented his opinion. The crowd must be taken away. What if we disagree? Hila at the moment stood up. Why do you disagree? The prosecutor was curious. We are helping you. We have fought the Mephistos of the dark dimension for ages. Now you say you are going to solve each other. You really need to be able to solve it. How did they project the first imprint onto this Fang universe in the first place? This must be because you can't defend, so you gave them a chance. After they appeared in this Fang universe, you didn't take action to solve them. Now that we have resisted each other, you can talk about solving each other. There is no proof in what you say, so why do you make us believe it? Hela's continuous questions directly stopped the other party. Yes, since you can solve it. Why did the Mephisto of the dark dimension appear? Even the gods can't explain this. Can they say that, in fact, most of the time they don't care about things? Even if you don't go, we will take her away. The prosecutor pointed directly at Ancient One and spoke. Even if you don't go, we will take her away. Prosecutors were talking about Ancient One. Since she is the root cause of all this, they need to get rid of the root cause. Do you think we'll agree? Hila at the moment is full of momentum. Although she is also very upset now that Ancient One overwhelmed her. But there is no way, who let Ancient One directly occupy the 3 dimensions now. Why Shandy, dark dimension, hell. She, Hela, can't compare to the other party. She is only 2 places in Asgard and Helm Hades. But Hela is better than Ancient One in that she occupies a hell and a god domain. When the real power feedback comes, she can get more power belonging to the underworld. Because that's a real layer of hell. Ancient One didn't get it in the end. The power she can get in the underworld is comparable to that of Odin. He has a reputation, but no territory. But they are all people from the underworld. Do you take it away as soon as you say it? How is this possible? It's okay to be weaker than your god group. Now, their strength is not weaker than yours. The prosecutor shook his head. You may be really strong, but you still won't be stronger than me. He is a star system. One person can kill everyone here. He didn't know if Egg was going back to hell. That can directly span from the peak of the starfield level to the large galaxy level. On a large scale, it is consistent with the opponent. Definitely, Egg still couldn't beat the opponent. After all, the opponent's small realm is higher. The prosecutor felt that he alone could kill everyone. So he doesn't care. The only thing I don't want is to fight with other people here. At that time, the weakest on their side may fall. Such as searchers and analysts. These 2 celestial gods are only at the level of small galaxies. As long as someone on the other side stops him, someone can start killing. The opponent chased after the searcher and the analyst. Maybe the 2 gods will be killed. Even the prosecutor is still thinking that this time is lucky that he came. Otherwise, the star-level explorers and testers are really no match. They also have to sigh. This hell dimension is so dangerous. To have such a powerful god so quickly. If you give them a little time, the opponent's strength may surpass your own. All this is because the flow of time inside is different from the outside world. Prosecutors believed these things, thought they thought of a god in the blink of an eye. Their creator is eternal, created them, perhaps also created these hell gods. What eternity rules is time. Even, a terrible thought reverberated in their minds. As the eternal construction of hell to usurp the authority of death. Thinking of this, the gods were shocked. If this is the case, this matter is beyond their ability to solve. However, they are not sure. Even if you are stronger, we will not let you take Ancient One away. If you are not convinced, we will fight here. As long as you are not afraid of directly erasing this star field. We can stay with you forever. Quote, Hela at the moment exudes a terrifying aura directly. A fight, who is afraid of who? The only worry is that this star field will be directly destroyed by the energy of the battle. Star field level is not just casually said. That is the existence that will really fight and destroy a star field. However, Hela didn't care much about this matter. If this star field is really destroyed, then all the souls just go to hell. Today's hell is constantly expanding. The soul inside is still very rare. The real vast land and rare ghosts. With me here, you still want to destroy the star field. The prosecutor directly sealed off the entire starry sky. This space was directly sealed by this powerful force. Unless someone can break his seal. Otherwise, it is impossible for someone to destroy the star field outside here. Seeing this, Hela directly raised his sword and killed him. She doesn't want to be verbose. This time Chin Hao meant to find someone to fight. Their strength has grown too fast. It was so fast that none of them had a chance to fight others. So now their strength has been improved and pulled up. But it may not be able to exert its due strength. Ha ha ha, Hela, we are fighting together again, this time, we can let go. Not only Hela killed it, but Odin followed suit. He wanted to be a benevolent god king. But before that, his hands were no less bloodstained than Hela. The constellation level Hela and the constellation level collector fought. Odin went straight to the calculators and fought together. Who is that? Come and fight. Yi Jie approached the tester without saying a word. They are all at the star field level, who is afraid of whom? In fact, he can't display the strength of the peak of the star field here. Because, he is just a duplication. His body is still in ego hell. There, is his complete strength. But he wasn't worried, it was just a fight. Try your own strength. But another star field explorer is very troublesome. No one is as strong as the other. We need to join forces. Zhang Kui looked at the judge and Ancient One beside him. Then let's go together. Zhang Kui, Ancient One, and 2 judges confronted the explorer. 2 star-level masters and a constellation-level peak besiege a star-level explorer together. The opponent's realm is too high. Even the 4 were beaten and retreated steadily. Wei Zheng and the Measure are fought together. Serta, on the other hand, is a single-handed searcher and analyst. This time, Lof didn't even catch Ego. All that was left on the scene was the prosecutor. That's at the level of a large galaxy. Lof doesn't do it unless he's out of his wits. He glanced at Serta. Serta, give me a match. After finishing speaking, he directly kicked the analyst out of the battlefield without saying a word. On the entire battlefield, the Hell side has an absolute advantage. The only thing left is the prosecutor. A god of great galaxy strength. All the gods at the moment let go and fight again. Some people have the bottom line, and they are not worried about destroying the universe. Why not do it? Especially the people on the side of Hell. As the battle gets longer and longer, they are more and more grasping of their own strength. The longer the fight, the greater the pressure on the Tiantian group. In this situation, the prosecutor is getting more and more wrong. This time a team of 8 came. He was still stopped. It seems that I will die if I don't make a move. Prosecutors finally decided to go even further. No, you can't shoot. Just then, a voice came from behind the prosecutor. The prosecutor was startled, and suddenly turned around. Immediately afterwards, his whole body seemed to freeze in place. He saw a terrifying figure emerging from behind. The huge size terrified their naive Shendu. His height of hundreds of meters is actually only a little bigger than the opponent's eyes. What surprised the prosecutor even more was the strength of this phantom. The pinnacle of the large galaxy level. This strength is comparable to him. Such a powerful strength unexpectedly appeared here quietly. What makes the prosecutor even more frightening is that, in front of that huge phantom, there is a small figure. The opponent's strength even surpassed his own. Star Cluster class. Definitely stellar class. Immediately afterwards, he felt a change in his surroundings. When they turned around, they were surrounded by a vast expanse of whiteness. Steamer Hell. The crowd was full of momentum, pushing out all the water vapor. And at the moment, all the talents of the celestial group discovered that they had disappeared into the real universe. The prosecutor subconsciously hit the void. Under normal circumstances, it can directly smash the void of reality into pieces. But now, his blow was completely ignored. The blow of this large galaxy only partially shattered the entire surface of the Earth. The current Hell is far stronger than imagined. Is this your Hell? The prosecutor stopped. That's right, this is Hell, and this world is the world of the soul. You've been here once the last time, and I thought you'd give up. We have our own affairs in Hell, and we didn't want to cause any conflicts with you. But you are here again and again, then this time I will not let you go. Kai, surround him. Qin Hao directly ordered the ancient god behind him to take action. Boom, the huge body behind him shot directly. That huge hand is like a piece of heaven and earth. Directly wrap the collector in it. Collector is not afraid of each other at all. Even, at the moment, he was extremely happy. Outside, he still needs to maintain the entire space. But here, he doesn't need it at all. He directly chose to let go and fight. The energy of panic gathered in his hands. It directly collided with the ancient gods. Boom, the terrifying breath was churning. Everyone fighting on one side at the moment had to stop. They couldn't bear this terrifying energy fluctuation. The gap between the large galaxy level and the starfield level is still infinite. Even the reinforced steamer Hell at the moment is constantly raging with energy. The surface layer was directly torn apart, more and more fragmented. More groundwater spewed out. You can even see the lava below. The two clashed constantly, colliding with energy constantly. But no matter how you do it, the barriers of Hell are still as strong as before. The prosecutor knew that he might really be unable to leave this time. The other members of the celestial group, at the moment, are also standing still in the void in the distance. In such a terrifying battle, a terrifying existence at the level of a large galaxy appeared on the other side. Who is that? How could there be such an existence? The analyst spoke. I don't know, but an opponent of this size, only the ancient gods have appeared before. Ancient gods. I didn't expect there to be ancient gods here. This is the soul of Hell, that is to say, Hell has obtained the head of an ancient god. How is this possible? How is it possible that the souls of the ancient gods are still there? Not long ago, I felt the turmoil in the universe. Do you think it has something to do with it? It shouldn't be. The strength of this ancient god is so amazing, how could it be related to the turmoil in the universe? 2. A bunch of gods on the side constantly quotient. Begging. On the other side, everyone in Hela returned to Qinhao's side. Is it okay for the ancient gods to attack? Hela was a little worried. It doesn't matter, he alone is enough to deter most of the forces in the universe. In addition, we can quickly improve the experience. The next time may be when we take the initiative. Quote. Qinhao already had enough confidence this time. In this universe, there are not many people who are more powerful than him. Perhaps the Eradicator and leader of the celestial group will be stronger than himself. But so what? I can improve quickly in the future. Star-Lord is a chance. Reality Gem is an opportunity. This time has been floating in the universe. But there are countless key figures waiting for him on the earth. Those key people are also a group of people who can bring benefits to themselves. Once this is done, his strength will be one step closer. Don't say level single universe. It is absolutely no problem to reach the late stage of the star cluster level or even the peak. Even, at that time, the souls of the ancient gods were directly replenished. That is also a great force. Even if you don't break through for the time being. There are really some ancient gods that I can't deal with. That is the existence of a star cluster level limit. In this universe, there are not many people who can defeat him. If there is a real battle, it is estimated that most of the universe will be destroyed. Those creator gods wouldn't let that happen. At that time, it is estimated that the ancient gods will be directly suppressed. So for now, I have to keep a low profile. The key item I am waiting for now is Reality Gem. Wait until the Reality Gem appears, then Hell can collect all 6 infinite gems directly. Thanos can collect all infinite gems at the multi-universe level. It can even beat the 5 creation gods. Wait until your own Hell has collected infinite gems. Then the combat power at that time could directly break through the multi-universe level. At that time, he didn't have to worry about the existence of the creation god. This is my confidence. The stronger you are, the more confidence you have. The closer you are to your goal, the more confidence you have. Kai, break through, crush. Kai, break through, crush. Qinhao's voice sounded directly. Yes, my lord. Huge amounts of the ancient gods took orders. Immediately afterwards, directly extract the power of the power gem. Boom, his huge body instantly exuded a more powerful aura. Early star cluster. In the blink of an eye, the ancient gods actually directly reached the astonishing early stage of the star cluster level. How is this possible? Prosecutor, at the moment everything feels crazy. How is this possible? The opponent is not just a peak star system. The opponent was able to break through to the star cluster level at will. It's just a small realm. But the disparity is huge. When the ancient god broke through, the prosecutor was slapped directly to the ground. A terrifying palm appeared instantly on the entire steamer Hell floor. Rumble. There was a slight vibration throughout steamer Hell. Impossible. Far away, the analyst looked at everything in front of him and felt unbelievable. We lost this time. The measurer also doesn't seem to understand the current situation. Hey, we clearly said to observe again, but we still came to fight them. Analysts are somewhat helpless. Last time, their conclusion was to wait. Go ahead and watch this hell. As a result, they discussed it after they went back. I still feel like taking this place down. Cannot let a dark Mephisto enter the real world at any time. Let alone a target that is positioned by Mephisto at any time. The best way is to control this target in their own hands. That's why they came out and did it. As a result, when I came here, such a thing happened. The opponent's strength far exceeded their imagination. He actually defeated them directly. Star cluster level ancient gods. Only their eradicators will have such strength. But if the eradicators really want to be dispatched, it will destroy civilization. This hell, they started unprepared for destruction. The few gods could no longer bear the terrifying coercion and were directly sent flying far away. But they just stabilized their bodies. A terrifying palm had descended on him. This time, the 7 gods also followed in the prosecutor's footsteps. A total of 8 members of the celestial group were directly held in the hands of the ancient celestial god. A body of strength does not have much effect in front of the opponent. Prosecutors have also been able to struggle occasionally. The 7 of them didn't even have room to struggle. The disparity is too great. It was also the first time for everyone in the underworld to see the strength of a star cluster. This kind of strength is really too terrifying. No wonder the ancient gods sent them floating in hell in one breath. I was still a little unconvinced at first. But now, there is no sign of dissatisfaction. Can't beat it, it's really can't beat it. The disparity is too great. Qin Hao then flew towards the captured members of the celestial group. Next, you need to stay in my hell for a while. When my strength is enough, maybe I will let you out. Quote. Are you strong enough? What kind of strength is enough? Prosecutors eventually gave up the struggle, too. I need to have the strength to fight against your god group before I will let you go. Fight against the celestial group. Did you know that our celestial group is almost endless? Analysts revealed this intelligence. So what, your strength has an upper limit after all. In fact, you also know your own identities. So you should also understand the peak of your strength. Moreover, you should understand better what my hell is like. This hell is actually the same as the dimensional space of Mephisto in one dimension. Except my hell is now connected to the real world. This allows me to easily enter the real world. It also allows you to enter my hell world. Wait until it's really necessary, like when I'm really outmatched in the real world. At that time, I could sink the whole hell directly into the deeper magic dimension. The deeper the magical dimension is immersed, the stronger we will be in hell. Until the end, it directly turned hell into a world. Then I can even have the power of the level single universe. It's just that it's in this universe. You have to admit this. So your god group is endless, it is not important to me. Now, it's just that I don't want to disconnect from the real world. Qin Hao did not lie on this point. This is a two-way choice. The current status of hell is equivalent to the transfer station between the real world and the magical dimension. Once hell really sinks into the magic dimension, then there is less impact from the real world. At that time, it is more like a complete universe. Like the dark dimension of Dormammu. It was originally just a small dark universe. These years of continuous devouring made his universe bigger and bigger. The bigger the universe, the easier it is to communicate with the real world. It also makes it easier to transfer magic power into the real world. Another point is that the power recognized by the real world is also easy to pass on your own power. For example, Emperor Weishan. Their magic is called white magic, which is recognized by the real universe. So there are 3 holy places majestically appearing on the earth. And also absorb the magic power of Emperor Weishan. As for hell, it was originally recognized by the real world. Because souls need to be buried. Otherwise the world will become the world of the soul, the world of the dead. This is why it is much less difficult for the Lord of Hell to come to earth than Dormammu and his ilk. It's not just Qin Hao who is now able to communicate with the real world at will. Doesn't Faith come to the real world from time to time? A Ghost Rider was also created to fight exclusively. This is like Zhang Kui, the celestial master of the underworld. Catching ghosts is his responsibility. Thinking of this, Qin Hao subconsciously glanced at Zhang Kui. Thinking about it this way, he instantly figured out the identity of Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is actually the Western version of Zhang Kui. Originally, I thought Ghost Rider was a bit forced. Now it seems that this is the case. Zhang Kui was glanced at, feeling baffled. And the prosecutor at the moment also felt helpless after hearing Qin Hao's words. The other party is so self-aware. This proves that the opponent is getting more and more difficult to deal with. Because the other party is too sober. Sober enough to find a way out for myself. As for other things, he couldn't say anything. Since this is the case, we also respect your ideas and practices. In your hell, we promise no messing around. Prosecutors responded directly. Very well, you are very self-aware. In fact, even if you want to make trouble, the impact you can have in the underworld is limited. Even if you do your best to destroy, you can at most destroy a part of this layer of hell. Even you can destroy the soul here, but you can't hurt the foundation. There are more than one level of hell. Quote, Qin Hao is really not afraid of being destroyed by the other party. Steamer Hell originally didn't have much soul. Now the souls drawn by the underworld are not enough to fill the first layer of Hyam Hades. The other levels of Hell are hells dedicated to distributing punishments. So you get even fewer souls. Even if all these souls are killed. That's no big deal either. Even those souls who did too many evil deeds during their lifetime will be punished. Kai, let them go, you are the master of this layer of hell, guarding them. After Qin Hao finished speaking, he turned and left. He crossed to another level of hell in front of the gods. Hela and others also followed closely. A group of members of the god group were released by the ancient gods. Then the ancient gods began to patrol his hell. He still has one less soul. Doing it is actually somewhat mechanical. Even the ancient gods left. All the members of the god group did not mess around. Analyst, what conclusion have you drawn? The prosecutor spoke directly. Analysts are weak, but analyzing things is experienced. When leaving hell last time, the analyst's first conclusion was to observe rather than act. As a result, many gods finally overturned his analysis. As a result, all this happened. Danger, I feel danger. Danger, what aspect? You specifically emphasized that it cannot be from this ancient god. Not from the ancient gods, but originally from this hell. When hell opened, I didn't find the time difference between hell and the real world. Do you understand what this means? Here comes the analyst. What does this mean? It means that there is no time difference between this hell and the real world. Either that, or that the real world is far more connected to hell than we can imagine. Even we can't feel that change in flow rate. If it is the first type without time difference, it is the scariest. In such a short period of time, they have changed from the small galaxy level late stage to the current star cluster level gods. Can you imagine this terrifying speed of improvement? Moreover, I don't think the second type one mentioned exists at all. Because if they really are fighting in hell where time flies fast, their fighting level couldn't be that. In the battle with us, everyone should have discovered it. They are adapting to their strength. It was a vain dryness that suddenly increased in strength without mastery. This proved that they had indeed suddenly increased too much power. We are the whetstones on which they fight. Quote, the analyst directly informed the crowd of his analysis. I agree with the analyst's analysis, and indeed all the intelligence I tested supports it. The measurer at the moment also supports the analyst's analysis. The strength of hell is improving too fast. Then, we'll stay here honestly, waiting for the eradicators, and even the leader to come and save us. Quote, prosecutors made the final call. Yes, all the gods gladly took the order. On the other side, Qin Hao was quietly thinking about things. What are you thinking? Hila asked proactively. Pity. Qin Hao shook his head helplessly. What a pity. What do you mean? Everyone was a little uncertain why Qin Hao said that. It's a pity that there are so many members of the celestial group, we can't drag them into hell, Qin Hao explained. Why? Serta, unwilling to use his brain, asked immediately. Because of a rumor. What rumor? It is rumored that the celestial group was created eternally by the creator gods. Once we pull their souls into hell, this will attract the eternal gaze. Once we are watched by him, we will be in great trouble. Quote, hearing Qin Hao's words, everyone had a slight understanding. So, what do we do next? The disappearance of a team of gods, they will not let it go. Nonuo's next time, maybe a more powerful god will come. Our underworld needs a new source of power. Everyone expressed their concerns one by one. That's right, so it's time to act separately. Egg, your mission is to find Star-Lord. Find him and bring him into your stone-bound hell. He is in your hell, able to display a strength close to yours. With the cooperation of the two of you, your strength will be one step closer. Odin, Hila, Ancient One, you need to go back to your respective places. There are now 4 infinite gems in hell. Still short of Reality Gem and Time Gem. Reality Gem Odin needs to check your Asgard records. Moreover, the 9 realms will be connected to the city recently. At that time, maybe something will happen. You need to protect the 9 realms. Loth, Serta, each of you is the master of the world. Everyone will protect their own world. In case the 9 realms are really connected to each other, let's see if our hell will also be exposed. Wei Zheng, Zhang Kui, Lu Zidao, and Seek Away continue to protect the normal operation of Hell. Quote. Qin Hao directly issued one order after another. Now, what they need with their great strength is protection. Qin Hao estimated that the first line of the 9 realms is about to happen. Now Hell is pulled into another dimension. I don't know if it will appear again in this celestial body movement. If not, then all is well. If it still does, then you need more planning. Yes, as ordered. Everyone gladly accepted the order. Hao didn't leave Hell until the crowd dispersed. Star-Lord, Reality Gem, which of you will appear first? Star-Lord, Reality Gem, which one of you will appear first? Qin Hao now thinks of these 2 ways to quickly increase the strength of Hell. The hard part about Reality Gem is showing up. As long as the Reality Gem shows up, there will be no worries in Hell. At that time, he even dared to bring the Tiantian group into Hell. Even if Eternity and Death know their existence, they are not afraid. Thanos obtained 6 infinite gems, all of which can beat the 5 creation gods. Infused infinite gems into Hell himself. Even if it's almost there, the disparity shouldn't be too big, right? Don't beat each other up. Just make sure you don't get killed directly by the other party. Qin Hao has his own calculations. Besides infinite gems, I still have a system anyway. Put the gemstone on for a while, and the system will be done. But as Qin Hao said, the hardest thing about Reality Gem is showing up. The 9 realms, an astronomical phenomenon on the line of 5,000 years. Heim Hades, Jotunheim, Muspelheim were pulled into Hell. Now there are only 6 realms left in the entire 9 realms. Will the 6 realms still appear in that way? More importantly, will the 3 realms of Hell be pulled out? This is the most important. Will the hidden Hell be pulled out by the real world? Hela returns to Asgard. He needs to arrange for someone from Asgard to help investigate something. For example, where is Star-Lord? And there are Reality Gems. Reality Gem, there is no clue at all. Hela sighed a little. Odin shook his head at that. I'm worried, I can't actually find the Reality Gem. What's the meaning? Hela looked a little unfriendly. Can't find it. What is this nonsense? The Reality Gem is clearly the most important part right now. It is a key link in strengthening Hell. How can I not find it? You come with me. Odin took Hela directly to the library. Here, there are countless records. Odin took down a book. Reality Gem is also called TIE particles, and its work is actually like this. The 9 kingdoms are not static, they have dawn, and they definitely have dusk. Before dawn, dark forces ruled the world, and they called themselves Dark Elves. Quote. Hearing this, Hela frowned. Dark Elf. The dark elf who wants to steal the light and turn the world into darkness, isn't this the content of the bedtime story? Obviously, Hela's education is the same as Thor's. Bedtime stories all the same. No, stories also have legends and origins, and it just so happens that this story is a true legend. The leader of the Dark Elves is called Malekith. He used darkness to create a weapon called TIE particles. Among the remnants of the universe, everything else is similar to stones. Such as Space Gem, Power Gem, Mind Gem. But only TIE particles, which are liquid, can change constantly. He transformed all kinds of matter into dark matter. In fact, this is the power of Reality Gem, to change reality. Dark Elves believe that reality is darkness. Reality can literally be turned into darkness with the help of the Reality Gem. However, TIE particles also have their consciousness. It will look for a resident host and absorb energy from the host's vitality. Malekith originally intended to use the power of TIE particles to bring the entire universe back to darkness. But in the end, it was successfully stopped by my father Bor. That's why we have been able to win these thousands of years of peace. However, for safety, his father Bor also wiped out the TIE particles. In other words, the Reality Gem represented by TIE particles has been eliminated. What the Death God wants is impossible to get this time. Quote. Odin told a story about Reality Gem. Hela froze in place upon hearing this. You mean, my grandpa destroyed the Reality Gem, in place to prevent the Dark Elves from using it to cause trouble? She gritted her teeth at the moment. That's right. Anyway, in the past few thousand years, I haven't seen the existence of Reality Gem. Odin is also helpless. I never thought of using this thing before. He even felt that his father destroyed it well. Without this thing, people who have those thoughts should give up their thoughts. However, he never thought that such a thing would happen. DBEC. That thing is actually needed now. Boar is also a piece of rubbish. Since all the dark elves have been wiped out, what are you afraid of doing with a gem? If I had that gem, I would just change Asgard first. A group of people actually only know how to be conservative. I don't know how to expand the territory and make Asgard stronger. If only he would use the power of the gem to make Asgard even stronger. Asgard has long been able to give birth to existences above level Godfather. Really, don't you tell me I'm not so angry yet. You told me, I really think you are so useless. Quote. Hela commented unceremoniously on her grandfather poll. Waste. It's really useless. Since reality gem can even pull the entire universe into darkness. That would expand Asgard, why not? It's easier to change a universe or an Asgard. Obviously Asgard is easier. The universe can change. There's no reason Asgard can't be changed. Waste of treasure. Odin was also helpless when he heard Hela's words. He didn't think of such a thing either. Expansion Asgard or Hell Death God did it before they were inspired. The stereotype has always been that Asgard is just that big. Who would want to expand this place? Forget it, since Chin has issued this task, no matter what, I will go and look for it. Come on. A group of guards quickly came to Hela. Command Heimdall to see Svartalheim where the Dark Elves lived. In addition, Asgard soldiers were transferred into Svartalfheim to investigate. If it really doesn't work, then use Bifrost to destroy that world directly. At that time, even if it is an inch-by-inch exploration of the land. I will also inspect an inch of Svartalheim. Quote, Hela is cruel. If not, she doesn't even mind destroying the world of Svartalfheim. Anyway, there are no living creatures here. So what if it was destroyed? As soon as Hela heard that he was going to act recklessly, Odin was in a hurry. But he knew that ordinary persuasion had no effect. Then, he thought of something. Hela, you'd better ask Chin, if it's really a world, Chin might be transformed into hell. Odin knows that only Chin Hao can calm Hela. Destroying a world is not as good as using waste. In case there can become a world, the power of hell will expand again. Compared to reality gems that can't be found, isn't this world obviously more useful? Odin is now starting to hook up with Chin Hao to the 9 realms. Hela was taken aback when he heard Odin's words. Yes. Without reality gem, this place can still be a world. This is also an ascension to hell. Why did I bombard Svartalheim? Something is wrong. You're right, I see. Hela is also kind. The main reason is that this matter is useful to Chin Hao. Otherwise, she wouldn't have followed suit. Odin, I leave the matter of reality gem to you. I'm off to other things and I can't let Ancient One throw me off. Quote. Hela referred the matter directly to Odin. What are you going to do? Odin had a bad idea in mind. I said, I'm going to practice black magic. Hela is not shy at all. Black magic will make you. Black magic won't let me have any problems, you always think things are too simple. Hela interrupted Odin directly. Odin didn't know what to say for a moment. Black magic does affect people's minds. However, that was when it was just black magic. Hell is growing so fast now, the power of hell is the root. Even Asgard's divine power is actually inspired by the power of hell. If it weren't for the power of hell to expand Asgard, how could there be such a powerful divine power here? Practicing black magic, I will have Asgard divine power, hell power, and dark magic power. Of the 3 forces, do you think dark magic can take the initiative? If even the power of gods and hell can't suppress a little dark magic power, that practice is useless. Quote, after Hela finished speaking, she turned and left directly. As she said, even the strength of her own practice for thousands of years can't suppress the strength of a new practitioner. Then don't say anything, just live in peace. What else do you practice? In her opinion, Odin is indeed old. Even now he has endless years. But his ideas are too old. Not an iota of adventure. Could it be that we just wait for Chin to ascend to hell and then improve his strength? That can indeed be powerful. However, it will always fall behind others. Because, as hell ascends, everyone will ascend. The stronger the person, the more they can improve. In the end, if Chin Hao can't be promoted, Could it be that they are still resting on that foundation and not moving forward? If that's the case, then it really loses its meaning. Do I have to deal with only a little bit of garbage left by Qinhao for the rest of my life? Can't I take the initiative to improve my cultivation to deal with more powerful enemies? Odin was a little surprised when he heard Hela's words. He didn't expect that Hela would think of so much. And, what Hela said makes sense. I didn't expect to be trained by my own daughter. Odin was helpless. However, if you really want to say this, it seems that I can also practice a little bit of this thing. The power of Odin in my body is so powerful that it can completely suppress the magic power of black magic. Asgard is not on fire, Odin's power is not extinguished. Quote. Odin had an idea of his own in the blink of an eye. Since you want to practice black magic, then why not practice it yourself? Odin has a decision here. Odin, you are finally willing to come back. Just then, Frigg walked in. My queen, I have really neglected you during this time, and I will accompany you well when we are done with this period of time. Odin quickly explained. I know, I'm fine, I want to tell you that Thor is stronger now, even, he has set foot on half a step of the strength of the gods. Quote. Frigga directly tells Odin a news that surprises him. What? Thor has entered the realm of a half-step god. Take me to see it. Odin was stunned. He thought of many possibilities. For example, because of the expansion of Asgard, you can become so powerful. But a more important thought took possession of his mind. Thor, didn't he also join the Underworld, did he? Frigga meets Thor with Odin. At the moment Thor's strength is indeed far beyond the past. With just one glance, Odin knew that Thor was already a man of the Underworld. It's just that Thor's token belonging to the Underworld seems to be sealed. It seems that this is also the decision of Lord Death God. Seeing this, Odin struggled with his thoughts for a long time. Finally, his eyes turned to Frigg. Frigga, my queen, we want to be together for a longer time, you too, join the Underworld, become a demigod, and live for millions of years. Odin finally decided to make Frigg a member of the Underworld. A family should live together. Frigga struggled for a long time, then looked at Odin. So, what about Loki's kid? On the other side, Hela practiced black magic decisively. In her body, the power of Hel is extremely powerful. The divine power belonging to Asgard is also constantly increasing. It's a pity that Asgard's divine power growth is limited. The longer you live, the more power you have. The current growth is really limited. But the power of Hel is growing too fast. Adding another force now is actually just a kind of balance. This is what she only thought of after being prompted by Ancient One. Hela quietly felt the magic power from black magic. And black magic is actually a collective term. From other latitudes, with a clearly flawed power. A force entered her body constantly, and her aura also rose constantly. Boom, I don't know how long it took before a terrifying aura emerged from her body. The initial stage of the star field. Hela nodded in satisfaction. Finally a little bit closer. It's finally getting a little closer. Hela looked satisfied. But she is not satisfied. The magic power of black magic constantly continued to pour into her body. At the moment's Hela, the magic power in the body is gradually occupied. The magic power of black magic originally only occupied a small part. But with Hela's practice, this part of the magic is getting stronger and stronger. Even, the black magic power directly began to surpass the Asgard, the divine power in her body. After all, the power of Asgard comes from Asgard. This has a lot to do with her age. Hela has lived for 2,000 or 3,000 years, and the divine power in her body is already astonishing. But no matter how amazing it was only the divine power of level God Father. After that, Asgard went through several rounds of expansion. Her divine power became even more terrifying. Can be calculated, the Emperor may also be a small galaxy level. There is absolutely no breakthrough in the amount of the constellation level. But now, the power of black magic is increasing, gradually beyond the power of Asgard. But compared with the power of Hel, the black magic power is still far behind. Asgard's divine power is growing too slowly now. But the power of Hel is still enormous. Next, I raise the black magic power in my body to a level second only to the power of Hel. Then my strength will be much stronger than what I have. This is not a simple doubling of energy. In the case of doubling the energy, the increase in strength far exceeds this level. The power of hell in the early stages of the star field. Once I raise the black magic power to this level too, my strength may directly reach the late stage of the star field level or even the peak. Because every time my strength increases, the power of hell in my body will become more. This is a positive feedback process. Quote, Hela quickly got ready. Powerful dark magic power poured into her body constantly. Boom, boom, boom. Continuous breakthroughs constantly appeared on Hela. In the middle of the star field level. The late stage of the star field. When this level is reached, Hela felt a little confusion in her mind. This is a trick from black magic. With each level up, Hela's body will absorb more power from hell. And the improvement of the power of hell will continue to suppress the dark magic power. In this way, more dark magic power can be absorbed. This is the reason why she broke through to the late star field level. But by this time, she was tempted by black magic and became even stronger. It seems that black magic power can't continue. Hela gave up the idea of directly breaking through to the peak of the star field level. That's too dangerous. What she needs is strength. Instead of making yourself a slave to power. However, it's time to do something else. Asgard power. My original source of power came from Asgard. This power Odin also takes another narcissistic name, the power of Odin. It's a pity that this isn't just Odin's calendar. This is a powerful force unique to our Protoss. Odin is now the strongest of the force. He also narcissistically gave this power his name directly. However, perhaps the strongest of this force is me. Then, it should be called the 10,000 of Hela. Hela constantly talking to herself. At the moment the power of Asgard within her is the weakest. She needs strengthening of this power. The older I get, the stronger my divine power will be. And it seems that I have to find Ancient One. Hela thought of this, her face was very ugly. Unexpectedly, in the end, they would ask Ancient One. Her goal is to surpass Ancient One. Now it seems that the power of the late stage of the star field has indeed surpassed the early stage of the Ancient One. But Hela knew that this matter was not calculated in this way. You can use other powers to improve yourself. There's no reason Ancient One can't. She originally had 3 powers. Once the Ancient One balances the 3 forces, her strength will be greatly improved. Maybe, Gu's current strength is even stronger than Hela's. For my own strength, for Chin's sake, I have to go to Gua. Hela finally decided to go to Ancient One to discuss it. Time gem, make yourself a little bigger. Now has an almost infinite lifespan. Then increasing the lifespan of tens of thousands of years has no effect at all. With a decision, Hela got up and went to find Ancient One. When Hela was practicing, others did not rest. Ancient One is in the Kamar Taj practice hall. At the moment he was looking at something. Eye of Agamotto. She wasn't thinking about the time gem in at the moment. Instead, just look at the container that wraps the infinite gems. Eye of Agamotto. Waishandi, here I can absorb the magic power from Waishandi more conveniently and quickly. Ancient One at the moment presents a powerful magical energy request in its hand. In the magic energy ball, Yin Qi representing Hell occupies the largest part. Yin Qi alone directly accounted for more than 80%. After all, most of her ascension relies on the experience of Hell. And Dormammu's dark magic at the moment occupies another large part. Wei Shandi's white magic at the moment occupies a little bit. Almost negligible. Next, it's time to absorb more power from Wei Shandi. Because I have been unable to break through, the total amount of magic I can absorb has been limited. But now I have broken the limits of magic. As long as I can keep strengthening, my strength can be improved rapidly. Moreover, although Death God Qin has never said, but I know what he is worried about. The eternity and death of the 5 great gods of creation. Eternity created the celestial group. And Death is originally the lord of the kingdom of death. What Qin is doing now is to snatch the power of death. This will definitely make Death go crazy. However, with an eternal attitude, I don't know what he will think. Gua was thinking about something. She at the moment doesn't know that she is also the focus of eternal attention. Because eternal attention originally transcends time. The celestial god group cannot die now. Once they die, they will attract eternal attention. On this point, Death God sees it very clearly, and he has always done so. Now the expansion of Yin Sao Jifu has reached the star cluster level. Countless souls are constantly being seduced into this terrifying realm. I don't know if Death God is ready to fight Mephisto in other dimensions. There are too many believers who need souls. On the contrary, people like Dormammu don't really care about souls. He has always cared about territories, absorbing countless territories into the dark dimension. It is an assimilation, directly making the world his part. But other Mephistos are not. Murder Faith's Ghost Rider was designed to convey his fears to the world. Cytoric also has followers like Juggernaut to help him. But Starak is also a strange thing. Originally, there are not many believers, and it is a bit stalking. Even Juggernaut didn't seem to know that standing behind him was Chantoric. However, Starak cannot be underestimated. On the contrary, it was Wei Shandy who borrowed magic from me. They are powerful, but they should not be eternal opponents. If I keep borrowing magic, the final strength is at most equal to them. And if Wysandi knows that I have borrowed more power from Dormammu now, maybe it will cut off the source of my magic power. In the future I see, strange has been done like this. Now the future is a fog. I can't guarantee that I will be targeted in the same way. So, the most important thing is to absorb their magic power as much as possible now. Wait until he really reacts and cuts off my power. Perhaps I have improved a lot of strength. Quote, Ancient One calculated a lot. She knows more than she can imagine. Among the countless futures to watch, there is always something that can reach out to the old gods or the extra dimension Mephisto. The Ancient One knows more than anyone else. Now that you've decided, let's get started. She directly began to constantly absorb the magic power from Visandi. The magic power originally given to her by Wysandi also supports level God Father. After the subsequent breakthrough, it improved a little. But compared to the power of Hell, the disparity is still too far. Countless Visandi's power constantly entered the body of Ancient One. Her aura is constantly rising. In the middle of the star field level. The late stage of the star field. The pinnacle of the star field. Her strength is infinitely close to the big galaxy level. Mephisto field. The ancient Mephisto Agamotto sensed the anomaly. There are magicians on the earth who are constantly absorbing their magic power. How could this be? How could there be such a powerful magician there? The magic power she has absorbed now has exceeded the star field level. How could an earth magician absorb so much mana? For the safety of the earth, we worked together to seal the ball. The greatest strength that can be exerted is the level God Father. The purpose is to prevent the earth from being easily destroyed. Although level God Father's strength book can explode stars. But they all need to accumulate strength to do it. As long as there is a process of accumulating strength, we can feel it. Then we will have time to deal with these things. But this time, the magic power absorbed by Sorcerer Supreme was obviously abnormal. No, first cut off the borrowing of this magic power. When I am free, I will go to the earth to see. Quote, after Agamotto finished speaking, he directly broke the magic connection with Ancient One. He can't make the earth abnormal. There, it is really special. He felt that the magic power from Wysandi that had been absorbed in his body was cut off. Ancient One, who was practicing, felt helpless. Sure enough, the dimension Mephisto will not be borrowed without limit. She also wanted to directly break through to the large galaxy level. In that way, she can be regarded as a real master. In the entire universe, there are not many masters of this level. But now it seems that it still failed. Just then, she felt a powerful force reaching Kamar Taj. Walking out of the training room, Ancient One looked at the colorful beam of light. Bifrost. Ancient One wondered how Bifrost came here. In a blink of an eye, the beam of light disappeared. A person with a voluptuous figure appeared here. Hila, why are you here? Ancient One was also surprised. Even in the future she saw, there was no such paragraph. It seems that this future is no longer in the observation of Time Gem. The moment Hila saw Ancient One, her pupils constricted. Your strength has reached the peak of the starfield level. Ancient One smiled. Hasn't your strength reached the late stage of the starfield? But I see your aura, the dark aura is about to catch up with the power of Hell. You are prone to problems like this. Quote, she saw Hela's problem. The dark magic power on his body is about to seep out of his body. This does not come from normal practice. I know, so I'm here to ask you a favor. Hela at the moment didn't flinch either. Since you are here, you are asking the other party to do something. What is it? Ancient One was also curious that Hela would ask him to help. She knows exactly how proud Hela's character is. Let her intercede for help. It seems that this matter is very important. Even things that can make Hela look down now. It must be related to Qin Hao. I want you to use the time gem to make me older. Hela spoke her mind directly. Ancient One was shocked when he heard this. Aged? Yeah, get older. How long does it take to get old? Ancient One wanted to know exactly how long this time to grow old was. If you directly become older for millions of years in order to be strong. At that time, it is estimated that Qin Hao will make trouble for himself. You Asgard are too powerful. The longer the time, the stronger the strength. It's okay to say that there are restrictions. Now that there is no limit, how strong can you become? Level universe, or beyond level universe, Ancient One actually wanted to know too. But this matter, if Hela asks too much, Ancient One will definitely tell Qin Hao. Going first to a Hale, that's almost triple the time I've lived. I want to see what level my strength can reach after a Hale. Hela made her request known. Try Hale first. If not, this time is almost non-existent for her. If you can, then you can consider how to continue to improve. A Hale, but I agree. The two return to the practice room. Ancient One unlocks Eye of Agamotto. The green time gem shines brightly. Ancient One cast a spell, and a mass of time power directly enveloped Hela's body. Hela gradually changed. Her hair grows at a rapid rate. Immediately afterwards, her aura gradually rose. Boom. Star Field Level Pinnacle Door. Chapter 91. Boom. The pinnacle of the Star Field. In the blink of an eye, Hela's strength broke through a small realm. This realm is already on par with Ancient One. And at the moment, Hela has only reached the age of 6,000 years. There are still 4,000 years old, enough for Hela Noodle Level 1. At the moment, Ancient One was even a little envious. The characteristics of the people of Asgard are too special. The older you are, the more divine power you have in your body, and the stronger your strength. At the moment, the divine power in Hela's body multiplied several times. The growth of divine power without barriers is very terrifying. Ancient One sure, wait until the time of Hela Hale. Her strength will definitely break through to the big galaxy level. Ancient One secretly sighed. There is really no way for this kind of advantage from blood. She thinks she is already very powerful in the field of magic. But compared with the Protoss of Asgard, the gap is not 1 or 2 points. This is not qualification. This is blood. It is really helpless. Boom. When Hela really Hale, a terrifying aura emanated from her body. The beginning of the large galaxy class. She really hits this amazing level on at the moment. With her breakthrough, Tung One stopped the calendar area of the time gem. Hela stood there and felt the power in her body. With the breakthrough of the realm, the power of Hell in the body increases instantly. It is an instinctive force. It is the foundation after she transferred to the Eastern God Department. This increase in power directly suppressed another black calendar in her body. At the same time, the power of Asgard within her grows. Also suppressed the black magic power together with the power of Hell. The power of Hell and the power of Asgard are her foundation. With two forces, she can control them at will without being backlashed. Suppresses the black magic power. Hela once again felt that the whole person was no longer bewitched by black magic. At the moment she was content. But she didn't want to immediately continue to raise her age. Thousands of years are enough. Continue to increase the time, although the divine power will jump and increase. But she knew that it would take longer. One is because Hela needs to absorb more power from Hell. The second is that women actually care about their age very much. More importantly, she surpassed Ancient One. That's enough. Thanks to Ancient One Magician for helping me. This time, Hela sincerely thanked GU. It doesn't matter, we are all colleagues in the Underworld, so naturally we should help each other. Although Qin's current strength is very strong, the opponents he encounters are getting stronger and stronger. We need a stronger force to match each other. Quote, Ancient One doesn't seem to be as strong as Hela right now. But she knows more. It wasn't power that the time gem gave her. It's about insight and knowledge. Hear the words of the Ancient One. Hela even had a thought that she shouldn't compare herself with the other party. I just feel a little jealous because I feel that I am not the only woman in the underworld. But others don't actually have any ideas at all. Look at Ancient One, all you can think about is hell right now. As for himself, he still wanted to compare himself with the other party. It really shouldn't be. You're right, for the sake of Qin, we really need to work hard to improve our strength. Hela agrees with Ancient One's statement. Perhaps, Qin at the moment is also constantly improving his strength. Ancient One smiled. Formerly Vomir Star, now in hell. Qin Hao stood beside the 4 judges. Reward Shan Si Wei Zheng. Punish the evil division Zhang Kui. Check out the way of Salu. Kui Ju, Secretary of the Department of Yin Law. Grown-ups. The 4 greeted Qin Hao. No need to be polite. Qin Hao looked at the 4 of them. My lord, why did you ask us to come here? Wei Zheng spoke first. For such a long time, Qin Hao seldom took the initiative to look for them in this way. Or gather 4 people at once. How do you feel when you come to this world? Qin Hao first asked a question. The 4 looked at each other. I was a little surprised. My lord, this world is indeed divinely guided. We're seeing a lot of things here that we haven't seen before. But this side of the world is indeed dangerous. It is also possible to destroy a large part of the world in a flash. And judging from what we know now, this world is not the only world. It is the so-called 3,000 great worlds. There are 3,000 middle worlds in one big world. There are 3,000 small worlds in one middle thousand world. Proving Tao is the only one in all worlds. Here, it is also necessary to prove Tao de Luo to resist various crises. Zhang Kui spoke directly. These things may not be very clear to others. But Tianxi Zhang Kui is very clear. There are obviously countless other worlds beyond this world. That is the existence of multi-universe. If there is an infinite world, one needs to prove Da Luo. Only the Deluo Jinxian is the only one in the world. Only then will there be a certain degree of security in this side of the world. That's right, you're right, this side of the world can also prove Da Luo. And you have no chance. Because your original may be just a duplication. In this world, you are real. But your realm strength has been determined to death. Now I have an idea, you need to decide for yourself. Quote. Qin Hao looked at the 4 judges and said. The 4 seemed to know what Qin Hao was going to say. We are real, but we are also false. So implement whatever ideas you have. For us, seeing the whole world is actually a kind of harvest. Quote. Celestial Master Zhang Kui spoke first. He is the strongest. Since this is the case, then you will be completely integrated into hell. Now, although your strength is bound to hell, but it still hasn't really merged with hell. In fact, you are in charge of the 6 hells. There will be more and more hells in the future. According to the truth, the more hells there are, the stronger your strength will be. But now, your strength is still improving like everyone else. It's not normal. In hell, you should be better than anyone in heaven. Even, you should be the most powerful existence besides me. For you also occupy the power of the whole hell. Quote. Qin Hao talked about his thoughts. The 4 judges glanced at each other. They had an idea in mind. Full into hell. Wei Zheng seemed to want to confirm whether what Qin Hao said was true. Yes, complete integration. Hell is you, and you are hell. From then on, those in hell are your incarnations. This is the same as Yi Zhe. His body is in that layer of hell. All that walks outside are his duplications. However, his strength is still very astonishing. I mean, you can be like him too. Quote. Qin Hao explained to everyone. When Tianxi Zhang Kui first appeared, he was second only to himself. But now, he is only at the beginning of the star field level. The disparity with myself is really a bit big. Because they belong to hell after being summoned by the system. However, that only belongs to hell. What Qin Hao has to do now is to turn the 4 of them into hell directly. They don't belong in hell. They are hell. The 4 looked at each other. Actually, did your lord just say that it was intentional to prove Da Luo's realm? What you mean is that we have actually been unable to prove Da Luo. But as if in the underworld, once the adult proves Daluo. We can become the strongest under Daluo, right? Judge Kui expressed his guess. That's right, even the realm above Daluo is possible. After all, the rules of this world are different from what you know. Even if the realm of transformation cannot be improved by then, your strength will not stop. Because you will still be strengthening with hell. You have also discovered that the bigger the hell, the stronger the strength. Just relying on this point, it is different from what you know. Quote. Qin Hao was really persuading them. The strength of the four of them helped him less and less. Once the four of them are integrated into hell, they can become the strongest under them. Especially Zhang Kui, who is good at fighting. The realm can be as close as possible to oneself. And his combat power may even be equal to his own. This kind of hell is the hell he wants. If the other party does not agree, Qin Hao will then summon new members of the underworld. For example, the four great lords of Yan. In that way, the four major judges will really become the same existence as civilian officials. There are two big realms between them and themselves. Counting on them is not as good as counting on the ancient gods. We know, let's blend in. Ego's existence has opened up a direction for us. Wei Zheng spoke a little coquettishly. That's right, we have only experienced hundreds of thousands of years. But Ego has experienced millions of years, and this alone is enough. Yeah, he's used to it, we can just try it. The sages of the Haodu transformed into the 6 realms of reincarnation, and one day we can try the feeling of being transformed into the underworld, which is actually very novel. Yes, we are thinking about how to improve our strength, and now it seems that we have a method. The 4 judges, at the moment, agreed. Starting today, the Department of Rewarding Goodness will reward Wei Zheng, the Department of Rewarding Goodness, the Department of Punishment Zhang Kui, the Department of Cha-Cha Lu Zidao, and the Department of Yin Law Department Kui Ju will be transformed into hell. Hell will never be destroyed and will last forever. Qin Hao's voice sounded directly. Immediately afterwards, the figures of the 4 became nothingness in hell. A moment later, the figures of the 4 reappeared. At the moment, their strength has directly reached the peak of the big level planet. On par with the ancient gods. Only slightly weaker than Qin Hao. The 4 felt their own strength. Then they all nodded. I'm going to fight against the ancient gods. Zhang Kui is a fighting madman. After he got the power, he went directly to the ancient gods. Together, we need to get used to this power. The other 3 also left one after another. Qin Hao closed his eyes slightly. It's a pity that they are the spirits of the system, even if their strength increases greatly, it will not make hell stronger. They're just a byproduct of hell. The strength comes from hell, but it will not be fed back to the power of hell. If other people have a big realm improvement. Absolutely not like this. Quote. Qin Mo sighed a little. At this moment, the sound of the system rang directly. Ding, Hila, an important member of the underworld, has broken through to the star field level, and the rewards are issued. Qin Hao was taken aback for a moment. Has Hila made a breakthrough? Ding, Hila, an important member of the underworld, has broken through to the star field level, and the rewards are issued. Reward 1. The strength of the host is improved. Reward 2. Increase the number of Yin soldiers and generals in each hell. Reward 3. Increase the number of ecstasy envoys. Reward 4. Expansion of the underworld territory. Reward 5. The radiation range of the underworld is expanded, and the range of the soul is expanded. Although Qin Hao felt a slight improvement in his own strength this time. But he is still only a star cluster level early stage. Now his strength is still at the early stage of the star cluster level. Now his strength improvement is not something that can be brought about by just one person's breakthrough. If you really want it, you need an existence that transcends yourself or is close to yourself. But not long after, Qin Hao heard the voice of the system again. Ding, Hila, an important member of the underworld, broke through to the large galaxy level, and the rewards are issued. Followed by a series of rewards. Hila broke through again. She is the second master of the galaxy level after the ancient gods. How did she do it? Qin Hao is still full of curiosity about Hela's breakthrough. Mobilizing the energy of the underworld, Qin Hao checked Hela's side. Then he knew how Hela broke through. Relying on black magic to break through for the first time. Then ensure that the energy in the body is not too much affected by black magic to increase Asgard's divine power. and the way to enhance Asgard's divine power. Actually looking for Ancient One to use Time Gem. This is very similar to the operation of Thanos in the animation. When Thanos got the gem against the Avengers, he used the Time Gem. As a result, other people either died of old age or died of old age. Not even the Hulk can withstand the power of the Time Gem. But Thanos met Thor. The older he is, the stronger he is. Even Thanos was taught to be a man by the old Thor. Unexpectedly, at the moment Hela also thought of using such a method. But only 10,000 years old. It is really unbelievable that Hela's strength can reach such an astonishing level. Although there are also the power of hell and black magic in the middle to support her strength. Chin-Mo muttered to himself. As for Hela's choice and operation, Chin-Hao has no intention of stopping it. For them now, the time of 10,000 years is actually nothing. It is actually worthwhile to exchange these 10,000 years for such a powerful strength. Even Chin-Hao himself was a little moved. It's a pity that time can't buy him strength. And just when all of them are busy improving their strength, Yi Jie was busy looking for the position of Star-Lord. Because for him, to find Xingju, his strength must at least be doubled. For him, cultivation is indeed not as fast as finding Xingju. As time went by, Yi Jie really found the trace of Star-Lord. As a predator, he constantly roams the universe, looking for all possible prey. More importantly, he may also have inherited the genes of Igor fraternity. During his wanderings in the universe, he had relationships with females of many races. The kind that really doesn't care about anything. And when he appeared, Egg's duplication found her directly. Star-Lord, we need to talk. Egg didn't mean to beat around the bush. Xingju was startled by this sudden appearance. Who are you? I don't know you, maybe we have nothing to talk about. Xingju directly refused. Having wandered in this universe for so long, he is also an experienced man. How could it be possible to be fooled by a stranger casually? Unfortunately, you have to talk to me. Egg was very tough. If you don't know that Xingju can match his god power. I didn't know that Xingju's genes contained his god genes. Then Yi Jie still doesn't value Star-Lord very much. Now that he already knew all this. Then as long as Xingju dared to refuse him, ego would use force. Even if these duplications are only sent when there is no breakthrough. But the strength of these duplications is not something Star-Lord can resist. Star-Lord's heart sank when he heard Yi Jie's words. The man in front of him seemed to be looking for trouble for him. What if I say no? Xingju's hand has reached for the energy gun at his waist. As long as the other party dares to mess around, kill him with one shot. Then you're screwed. Egg started directly. A white light shone from his hands. Star-Lord drew out his gun and fired. Shish, terrifying energy shot towards Egg. Egg didn't even bother to blink. This is just an energy duplication. So what if you broke it? The energy in his hand stabbed directly at Xingju. There is a tendency to shoot and I will pierce you. Xingju stared blankly on the other side. Another magical ability. He muttered to himself. The body didn't stop. He turned around and avoided Yi Jie's move. Immediately afterwards, a shot was fired at Egg. The energy gun directly hit Egg's duplication. Egg's body seemed to be melting. The place hit by the energy disappears directly. However, Yi Jie still did not stop. I said, you want to go back with me, it won't do you any good if you do it now. As Egg said, his body grew back constantly. Fact. Xingju was stunned to see everything in front of him. How so? How could he be targeted by such a monster? Who are you? Who hired you to trouble me? Xingju asked while dodging. He needs to know if he has offended someone. Or, did the women he dumped cause trouble for him? Or was it sent by Yondu? After casually thinking about people, Xingju suddenly felt like an enemy all over the universe. Who am I? I am your father. As my son, I have been looking for you for a long time. Egg said to himself. What fuck? Are you my father? When Xingju heard this answer, he was more shocked than any other answer. How should I complain about this? It must be shocking in your heart, but it's the truth. Back then, your mother and I. Egg was dealing with Star-Lord. While talking to himself about his and Xingju's mother. All kinds of things. Xingju was dumbfounded, but he knew that this man was really his father. Even if not, someone who knows about him and his mother. Now, You know my identity, do you still want to hide? Egg at the moment is full of pressure. Due to the battle between the two, there is no one here. Although they are all desperados. But no one wants to be dragged into battle. Especially when they learn that this was actually a battle between a father and son. Anyone who is dragged in will really die without knowing how. Since you are my husband and wife, why are you doing this to me? Star-Lord is not so easy to be persuaded. You have my genetic blood in your body, and maybe you are the only one with my godly genetic blood. I have a planet, no, not just a planet anymore. But let's treat him as a planet, so I can explain a little bit. I have a planet and need an heir, and you are that heir. Quote. Egg finally revealed his purpose. Definitely, not real. But a rhetoric. Quote question mark quote. Star-Lord was shocked. What is the identity of my own father? There is actually a planet. In the entire universe, there are very few people with such an identity. However, he had never heard of the person in front of him. Unless, he is the owner of a newly discovered planet. Or, he took down a certain planet and just became the master of this planet. But anyway, the existence that can become the master of a planet. None of them are simple people. Not only did this not make Xingju happy. On the contrary, it made him feel difficult. Such a person, even if he escapes today, will face endless pursuit. Just by looking at the eyes of those people around him, he knew that the problem was serious. Everyone even wanted to escape by themselves. Then look for an opportunity to grab yourself and exchange it for money. Wait, I'll follow you. Xingju stopped resisting in a blink of an eye. The person in front of him is unbeatable. The identity is special. You might as well follow and see first. In case what the other party said is true. Go there and see what to do according to the specific situation. If it is false, find a chance to escape by yourself. Compared to being taken away by this so-called father. Better than being taken by other outlaws. In case they didn't negotiate the price with their father. Then he is really finished. Very well, your choice is right, you will know how correct your choice is today. Why? Egg at the moment also stopped doing it. Egg followed on Star-Lord's spaceship. His own egg-shaped spaceship followed directly behind Xingju on autopilot. Don't have other ideas, or my spaceship will directly blow up your spaceship. Egg gave Star-Lord a warning. If you want to escape, be prepared to drift in the universe. Blow up the spaceship, don't you die too? Star-Lord asked. I'm going to die. Do you think I'm going to die? Egg spoke sarcastically. Star-Lord opened his mouth. Then there was silence. My own cheap father seems to be too powerful. This time, Egg didn't kindly tell Star-Lord about the past. Not to mention caring about Xingju so kindly. His goal, originally, is to achieve Xion. This time it was already a face for Xingju. Going to hell, even if Xingju wants to repent, he has no chance. After countless jumps, Xingju's spaceship finally entered the void where Ego was originally located. Arrived. Egg looked at his eyes with some regret. Arrived. Star-Lord stood in front of the glass and looked at the empty void. He felt that he was cheated. There is nothing here. My own father, maybe his brain is not very good. Here, soon you will see things you have never seen before. After Egg finished speaking, a passage appeared in the void. That is the gateway to hell. The spaceship flew into the channel. Immediately afterwards, Xingju opened his mouth wide. This, so big. Star-Lord walked through the passage to hell. Then I almost went crazy. On the spaceship, he looked out. In the entire line of sight, there is a land that is so huge that it exceeds the line of sight. At the end of the entire line of sight, it seems to be a flat land. Star-Lord remembered what Egg said. Here is a planet. However, in the infinite distance, the outline of the planet is actually a straight line. How big is this planet? And how far away do you have to be to see the magnitude that belongs to the planet? Xingju felt that his heart had stopped beating. According to this speculation, the magnitude of this continent is beyond his imagination. Too big. Really big. The continent of at the moment is gray. That is the influence of the yin energy of hell. Under this influence, the entire continent became extremely dark. Even if Yi Zhe originally spent a lot of energy to make the whole planet colorful. But at the moment he didn't have the intention to continue. The crazy increase in strength made him have no time to deal with such trivial matters. The expansion of the entire planet directly made it very difficult for Ego to spread his brain, neurons, all over the planet. The first thing he has to do now, it is to extend its own neurons to every place on the planet. That way, his brain will know everything again. That's right, the world is like that. That's why I say, you won't regret coming here. Quote. When Egg arrived here, his attitude towards Star-Lord improved. Once you get in here, you can't escape. The two fell to the ground. Xingju saw a scene that surprised him. There are huge buildings here. The building in the center is a bit majestic and a bit eerie. That is the palace of the King of Hades. Next to the Hades Hall, there is a shining building. It seems out of place in this group of architectural families. That is Shangshan Division. After that, the punishment of evil divisions and so on spread all over the place. Countless figures shuttled through the building. Grown-ups. Grown-ups. All the people who passed by saw Egg and called out to your lord. Seeing this scene, Xingju was overjoyed. It seems that my cheap father really owns this place. At least, this area belongs to this cheap father. Here, there are so many people and it's so lively. Xingju praised. Well, as long as you know. Egg smiled. Xingju didn't know at all he saw were ghosts. The busy people here are all ghosts. Next, what do we do? Next, I will bring you to meet some people, waiting here. After Yi Zhe finished speaking, his body disappeared immediately. The bored Star-Lord looked around. Unfortunately, he couldn't find anything here. After a while, a group of people appeared here. It was Egg who led the way. There are always a dozen or so people behind him. But Egg was clearly not the leader. A person with an oriental face is the leader among them. This is the person who is said to have your god gene. Behind Yi Zhe, an experienced beauty spoke. Xingju's eyes lit up when he saw this. This beauty is higher than what he has seen in these years. That's right, I found him according to the adult's instructions, and the identity matches. Egg explained. His eyes are not very good, I want to gouge his eyes. Frost on the face of the stunningly beautiful woman at the moment. This guy actually looked at him lewdly just now. Egg didn't know what to say. It's okay to offend others. Offend this one in front of you. Xingju can handle it by himself. This kid, anyway, he knew that his reputation was not very good when he did his own research. When he awakening the celestial gene, you can dig as much as you want. At that time, it happened to make him suffer a little bit. Quote. The leader has spoken. Star-Lord went crazy. Gouge your own eyes. They said it so boldly. He just didn't take himself seriously. That's right. Now that I'm digging, I'm worried that I'll accidentally kill him. The stunning beauty thinks it makes sense. Who are you? What are you going to do? Xingju finally couldn't take it anymore. These guys are not easy to mess with at first sight. Soon you'll find out who they are. Next you need to do one thing. Quote. What's up? Control the power of the god gene in your body. Egg walked up to Star-Lord. A white light appeared on his hand. Immediately afterwards, these white lights constantly control the surrounding objects. After that, they gathered together to look like Xingju while Xingju was stunned. How is this possible? Xingju subconsciously walked towards the created Xingju. Another Star-Lord at the moment is a bit of a robot. Because Egg didn't give him mind. On this planet, you can also have such power. This is the strength that comes from our genes. As long as you activate this power, you can do this too. Egg explained. As soon as Xingju heard it, he could do it himself. He subconsciously tried it. However, it was not successful at the beginning. You need to communicate with the planet, and you can only do things like this if you communicate with the planet. Communicate with the planet. How? Stay still and feel the energy of this planet. I will let you go, and you will feel it. Quote. Xingju closed his eyes, quietly feeling everything around him. Boom. In a blink of an eye, a white light also appeared on his hand. Most importantly, he felt the planet. Yes, he felt it. His eyes became extremely surprised. How could this be? I feel it. At the moment he really felt it. He also knew how powerful this planet really is. Horrible. This planet is scarier than a fixed star. This is simply impossible. Such a huge planet cannot exist in this universe. Just as he felt that moment, suddenly, a more powerful force surged out of his body. This force is as terrifying as the entire planet. The energy in the body is unbelievably huge. Even he has a feeling. A random blow can easily destroy a planet. No, not just a planet. Perhaps countless planets. He didn't know that the energy in his at the moment body had already reached an astonishing star field level peak. This is where the bug is. Star-Lord possesses the energy in his body second only to Yi Jie. These energies only come from Yi Jie's god genes. However, Xingju's celestial gene comes from Chenich's star. Egg star is immortal. His power is immortal. However, once Yi Jie's star becomes extinct, the power of the Star-Lord will also disappear. This is equivalent to the fact that Xingju is an extra portion of the power of the gods out of thin air. Egg was even able to turn Star-Lord into a battery to provide himself with the power of the gods. Ha ha ha, you really have the god gene. Egg at the moment was also extremely excited. The person he has been looking for all this time has finally found it. He turned to look at Qin Hao. My lord, he is mine. He belongs to this planet. All he wanted at the moment was to make this woman his own. No problem. Qin Hao directly threw a token to Yi Jie. Yi Jie held the token and looked at Star-Lord. To have the power of this planet, you accept it. Yi Jie put the token in Star-Lord's hand. Accept. I definitely accept. Xingju felt this huge power. How could he not accept it? Boom. The moment he accepted it, a more terrifying force appeared in his body. This is the power of hell. Ding, the underworld has been bound to the soul of a key person, and the underworld has the priority to collect the soul. This soul has the power of a god, and the system rewards have been adjusted. Reward 1. Yi Jie star gets feedback from the power of the gods, and Yi Jie star expands. Reward 2. Star egg expands, and the strength of egg and Star-Lord improves. Reward 3. The physical strength of the host is improved. Reward 4. The strength of the host's soul is improved. Reward 5. Increase the number of yin soldiers and generals in each hell. Reward 6. Increase the number of ecstasy envoys. A series of rewards appeared in Qin Hao's ears. Immediately afterwards, the earth trembled constantly. Boom, boom, 2 terrifying auras rose suddenly at the moment. Small galaxy class. Egg directly broke through the small galaxy level. Not only that, even Star-Lord at the moment is also a small galaxy level. Because Xingju originally relied on ego to exist. However, there are god genes in his body. So he can provide Egg with more powerful power of the gods. Today, the two share Yi Jie star together. Similarly, they also jointly provided the divine calendar for the power emperor of Yi's star. And speaking of it, Star-Lord is more free than Egg. Egg leaving here can only be duplication. His body brain needs to be buried deep in Yi's star. But Xingju, originally is a human body. Even when the divine power is not awakening, he can also hold the power gem without dying. This is where Star-Lord has the most bugs. With Yi Jie's breakthrough and the addition of Li Li's Star-Lord, the underworld has become stronger. Now in the entire underworld, there are already guests at the small galaxy level. The 4 judges, Hela, ancient gods, Ego, Star-Lord. From one god to now have so many powerful gods. Qin Hao's confidence is getting stronger and stronger. Ha ha ha, so I am so powerful. Star-Lord had just gained power, and at the moment he roared excitedly. There is no time for awakening in the power of the gods. He is just an ordinary person. Even if it is slightly stronger than the average person. But nothing at all. But now, he is not. Raging energy marks his strength. Incomparably powerful, strong. You are indeed strong, but don't forget, I will gouge out your eyes. Just when Xingju was most excited, Egg's cold voice sounded. Hela, gouged out my eyes. I don't believe it. Star-Lord at the moment is completely presumptuous. Strength, such a powerful force, so might be afraid of you. That's what he thinks. If you don't die, you won't die. Fight outside. Qin Hao waved his hand, and Xingju was directly transferred to the endless hell. Hila followed and disappeared in place. The others followed suit. Newcomers, we need to tidy up. Ancient One gloated a little. Hila, not in a good mood to buy. Everyone left. Qin Hao's breath was churning. Just got the newcomer Xingju. His strength is also improving. However, his strength is too strong. A little bit of strength isn't enough to continue his ascension. The improvement of Hela, Ancient One and others gave him feedback. But it is still far from the middle stage of the star cluster level. This time, a new special soul was obtained directly. And let Yi Jie also break through together. With such a terrifying bonus, Qin Hao's strength really began to loosen. His power is moving towards the middle of the star cluster level. Can it reach the middle stage of the star cluster level? Qin Hao himself is not sure. He quietly felt the rise of power, and watched Xingju being beaten by the way. Star-Lord is the same level as Hela. They are all in the early stage of the large galaxy level. But Xingju is a person who has just mastered this kind of power. How could it be the opponent of Hela, who has killed countless people? This newcomer will suffer a loss this time. Odin stood next to Ancient One and spoke. How dare you offend Hela? Hela's horror, Odin is well aware of. In order to deal with Hela, Asgard's Valkyrie army was wiped out. You know, Asgard's Valkyrie originally is a powerful team. They are also invincible in battle. But it fell directly into Hela's hands. That was before. The sea is even more terrifying now. This rookie kicked the iron board. Isn't this normal? Hela just wanted to find someone to fight with. If Star-Lord doesn't come, Hela can't find anyone who can fight her. No one is close to her strength. Quote, Ancient One is also a little sad. She knew better than Odin that Star-Lord was in trouble. Hela was by her side before this. Star-Lord is really out of luck. Hela had just made a breakthrough, and just wanted to find someone to play a game to familiarize herself with her strength. At that time, she didn't know that the 4 judges had already merged into hell. So there is only one person she can find, the Ancient God. The Ancient Gods are the pinnacle of the large galaxy level. Hela doesn't go to each other unless she is sick. Even if you are really sick, go find the Ancient Gods. Then Hela can only be beaten. Moreover, because the Ancient God lost a soul, his fight will not stop. If not, Hela will be beaten directly and miserable. So Hela will not go to the Ancient God no matter what he thinks. Then all that is left is to find Qin Hao. I really want to find Qin Hao, a lonely man and a widow. The battle between the two may change the taste. Hela's last possibility is to find the remaining members of the celestial group. But that team of gods is now in hell. They certainly don't go all out. So Hela might find it boring to fight. The most possible is to let Ancient One or Egg use the power gem to break through to the small galaxy level in hell. That way they can still play a game. But Egg and Ancient One probably won't do it. As a result, at this time, Star-Lord appeared. And Xingju looked at Hela with lewd eyes. Didn't this offend Hela to death? Boom, boom, boom. The entire stone-pressed hell where Yi Jie Star was located constantly sounded huge amounts of sound. That was the sound of Star-Lord being beaten. Even Star-Lord has the upper hand here. But his combat experience is really bad. Aren't you very arrogant? Aren't you looking at me lewdly? That's all you can do. You are a newcomer, and you are so bold here. Is it because no one in the universe has taught you a lesson, making you a little ignorant? You are rampant, keep going. If that's all you have, I'll gouge out your eyes. While fighting, Hela constantly taunted Star-Lord. Forgive me, I dare not again. Xingju was beaten and constantly begged for mercy. He didn't know until at the moment how hard to mess with the people here. No wonder my own cheap father saw them all so low-key. Turns out they couldn't beat them. I am so daring, I dare to think that they are so ordinary. Those who can make themselves have such a powerful strength. So maybe it's normal. Brain pumped. Boom. The last dull sound sounded. Ah, my eyes. Star-Lord's scream followed closely. I said I'm going to gouge out your eyes, I'm going to gouge out your eyes. Hela's voice sounded. Immediately afterwards, she walked back with enchanting steps. Xingju was left alone, howling constantly in the distance. This son is a bit stupid, he yells so loudly, doesn't he know how to restore his eyes with divine power? Egg complained. He is smart, knowing that it may have to be dug up now that it has been repaired. Let's wait until Hela is gone, otherwise it will be useless to recover. Quote. Ji Yu saw what Xingju did at a glance. If you don't recover, the pain is real. This guy is also a werewolf. Odin complimented Star-Lord sideways. Hela walked to Qin Hao's side, her brows slightly frowned. Your breath seems a little unstable. She felt Qin Hao's faint breath churning. Well, with the acquisition of Star-Lord, my strength has improved a lot, and I am now advancing towards the middle stage of the star cluster level. Qin Hao explained. Everyone was shocked when they heard Qin Hao's words. He is stronger. However, now it is the improvement of the small realm. This improvement has no way to feed back to others. In other words, Qin Hao's promotion this time did not benefit everyone much. At least it is impossible for everyone to upgrade directly. But this is not what surprised them now. What surprised them was that once Qin Hao was promoted, the gap in strength between everyone and him would widen. Now it is so difficult for him to advance to one level. Then it is estimated that it will be more difficult for others to improve. When the time comes, how can we close the distance with Qin Hao? By the way, Odin, how long until the 9 realms will happen? Qin Hao thought of something at the moment. If you can't break through this time, then the next goal is the first line of the 9 realms. There will be 2 goals there. TIE particles, Svartalfheim, the abode of the Dark Elves. If TIE particles can appear, that is his greatest achievement. Really have TIE particles. He'll borrow Ancient One's time gem. At that time, let's see what DBFD level my strength will reach. Really has the strength of multi-universe. Subsequent operations will become more diverse. Collector, Tenjin Group, Gao Tianzun, other hell. All of this will be his goal. Even, he will take the initiative to set off a war of gods and demons. Let Visandi, Dormammu, Starak, Mephisto, these Mephistos all participate. At that time, I devoured them one by one. However, this operation may not be so simple. After all, these guys are not weak. But even without TIE particles, he will also take the opportunity to devour the world of the Dark Elves. Let this world become hell. In that way, the emergence of a layer of hell will actually improve his strength. This time, even if it can't break through to the middle stage of the star cluster. Then after adding another realm, it will definitely be fine. Therefore, the first line of the western border is a critical moment for him to improve again in a short time. More importantly, even if TIE particles do not appear, he can also devour the world of the Dark Elves and then find it slowly. TIE particles are not the same as Soul Gem. TIE particles are buried. It really devoured the world of Dark Elves. He rummaged through the land inch by inch to find the TIE particles. The reason why I didn't want to do it at first is because TIE particles may appear automatically. There's no need to sabotage those things yourself. But TIE particles really do not appear. Then only in a special way. Odin thought about Qin Hao's words. According to the records, the first line of the 9 realms will be 7 days away. Odin gave an affirmative answer. 7 days later, very good, I will pay attention to this matter personally at that time. Qin Hao nodded in satisfaction. At this moment, he felt a violent churning of hell energy in his body. Boom, his aura rose instantly. Midterm star cluster. He actually passed this hurdle directly. You broke through. Hila is delighted. The others also felt relieved. Just break through. Well, breakthrough. The moment Qin Hao broke through. At the moment, the 4 judges who have merged into hell are also breathing. It's just that they each deal with things in their own territory. Everyone here is unaware of their changes. The early stage of the star cluster. The 4 judges have all reached the early stage of the star cluster level. The strength of today's underworld is even more astonishing. You are getting stronger and stronger. We can't keep up with your speed even if we work so hard. Hila sighed a little. They've obviously worked hard, but still couldn't keep up with Qin Hao's speed. Don't worry, you guys have actually made great progress during this time. From the breakthrough of level Godfather to the present, it has not actually been too much time. It's just that I'm too rushed, so you feel that you can't keep up. Your current strength has surpassed countless people. Quote. Qin Hao comforted everyone. He is thinking about one thing now. Wait until he breaks through the level single universe. Will it be able to summon more and stronger members of the underworld? The 4 lords of Yan. Top 10 kings of Hades. The more at this time, the more confident Qin Hao was. After all, he was not alone in the construction of the underworld. As said Hila et al., it is normal for them to not keep up with themselves. It would be strange if they really kept up with him. They are all masters of hell. unless they blend into hell like the 4 judges. However, the 4 judges were originally one with themselves. When they disappear too. But Hela and others will not disappear with their disappearance. At most, their strength dropped drastically after they disappeared. Even, they have now broken through the original barriers. At that time, it may become a dimension of Mephisto. Hela owns Helm Hades. Loth owns Jotunheim. The Flame Titan Serta holds Muspelheim. Each of them is now more connected to their respective worlds than ever before. By then, maybe they will all be dimensional Mephistos like Dormammu. Or a Hell Lord like Murder. Every hell has its breath. Maybe he can be reborn in hell by then. This is Chin Hao's arrangement for them. Live honestly, even if you die, you have a chance to come back to life. Just like the ancient gods now. Saved him by himself. And just as Chin Hao continued to improve his strength, the 2 gods set off from the Temple of the Gods again. The Master has come to order, you need to solve that variable. The Master has come to order, and you need to solve that variable. The leader exuded a terrifying aura. At least star cluster level. It is stronger than Chin Hao, who has already broken through to the star cluster level, mid-term. It's too strong. It is even possible that he is the existence of level single universe. It belongs to the existence that really stands at the pinnacle in this universe. He's the leader of the celestial team. All the squads leave, and he sticks to his position. Belong to the last left behind in the God group. I know they are strong, but I don't believe they are stronger than me. The speaker also exudes a powerful aura. Weaker than the group leader. But the momentum is still stronger than Chin Hao. Eradicator. An existence stronger than prosecutors. Now it seems that it is second only to the prosecutor. Once he appears, it represents destruction. This time, his mission is to destroy hell. Even, this task was not issued by the team leader. But their masters. Legendary Eternity. Don't take it lightly, the opponent's strength is very strong. I know that if I fail, only you will take action. Once I make a move, this universe may be shattered. We are the shepherds of the Master, what we need is to maintain the development of this universe. So I try not to shoot if I can. Quote, I understand, I'm going to try to make it through, and if I don't come back, then I've failed. The Eradicator said categorically. The group leader sent the Eradicator out of the Temple of Heaven. His eyes looked into the distance. The celestial team disappeared in that direction. Originally, this might just be a small thing. It is not the first time that the Tenjin group has disappeared. However, this time it attracted the attention from Eternity. He even personally issued an order for them to destroy each other. Is the Master going to fight that one? A name appeared in the leader's mind. Die. Existence on the same level as Eternity. As a result of their investigation, there belongs to hell. But the Master wants to destroy hell. This is exactly what it looks like to want to fight death. For these things, they only follow orders. Eternity and death are not something they can guess. Steamer hell. Everyone in the Tenjin group at the moment suddenly turned their heads to look at the white sky. The ancient gods who were patrolling the steamer hell stood still. His gaze also looked towards the sky. Crack, crack. In the vast white sky, it seems that something is being attacked. The terrifying and violent force hit the walls of hell one after another. The whole hell vibrates constantly. Except. The prosecutor instantly understood what was going on now. The Eradicator of the celestial group is here. How? We disappeared, how could the Eradicators be dispatched? Could it be that the team leader found something wrong? Impossible. If the team leader really wants to send someone, he won't send Eradicators. That's right, he will definitely send a new exploration team, and there will be Eradicators inside. There may even be more than one Eradicator, and that's to keep the new squad safe and able to deal with more crises. Then, what happened? This place was directly attacked. Unless the Master gave the order. As soon as this guess appeared, everyone in the Tiantian group fell into silence. If this is the case, then everything can be explained clearly. The trembling of the barriers of hell can be felt directly by everyone in hell. Everyone in the stone-crushing hell looked in one direction. The vibration from the steamer hell seems to be the Tenjin group again. Hila felt the shock over there. Although she is only very powerful. But she knows her own strength. Even the prosecutors who are imprisoned in hell can't beat them. How could new people fight? In the celestial group, the prosecutors who were at the peak of the galaxy level were all retained by them. This time around it couldn't have been weaker. In other words, the least that appeared this time was the star cluster grade. The same existence as Qin Hao. Even stronger than Qin Hao. At the moment Qin Hao had an inexplicable look on his face. If he does not open the barriers of hell, the other party will not be able to enter. At the moment's hell wall has reached this level. However, he did not intend to do so. Now that another god is coming. Then let them come. Tear. A sound of space shattering sounded. Immediately afterwards, a huge body appeared directly outside hell. This space barrier is very strong. I spent a little time. It seems that the people inside are also very strong. The Eradicator's voice came from outside. At the moment he didn't go to hell. Instead, look inside along the space crack. In the steamer hell, the 8 figures took this opportunity to rush outside. Someone has come to save them, definitely have to leave quickly. Out of hell, the battle outside is to destroy the real universe. Just then, a voice sounded. Everyone's heart trembled. Lord of Hell. The 8 figures turned their heads and saw Qin Hao and his party coming from another hell. They at the moment are recalling what Qin Hao said. Leaving here will destroy the real universe. They know the staggering intensity of this hell. I also know that the people here are very powerful. But really fighting outside. It will definitely destroy many star fields and even galaxies. Because, the people here also have gods at the peak of the galaxy level. Come out and ignore them. This is, the voice of the Eradicator sounded. He directly asked the 8 members of the Tiantian group to go out. The 8 people left immediately after hearing the words. Qin Hao led everyone from hell to the edge of the crack. Across the crack, the Eradicators confronted them. You are indeed very powerful, no wonder you attracted the attention of the Master. As soon as the Eradicator said this, the other 8 gods instantly concentrated their spirits. Really, this time, Master Eternal really sent the Eradicator to come. Is your master paying attention? I didn't expect to be watched by him. Qin Hao at the moment is also helpless. He has been waiting for an opportunity. We're only 7 days away from the reality gem. The Eradicator is coming at the moment. And it's an eternal command. A little later, he didn't worry about these things. It seems that you are also prepared. As expected, the Master's order cannot be for no reason. Are you believers of that Lord? Is that Lord going to fight the gods now? The Eradicator also thought of what the team leader thought of. Here is hell. Behind hell is death. He also regarded this place as a preparation for the great god of death. Everyone in hell was a little baffled when they heard the words. But Qin Hao directly thought of the reason. It seems that these gods have misunderstood. They regard themselves as dead people. This time the battle seems to be in the name of death. However, he was also a little worried. In case someone who really pretends to be a dead person, will he be noticed by death? After a moment of contemplation, he made a decision. Just delay. It doesn't matter at all if you pretend or not. I don't know these things, but I do know one thing, this hell is building. Someone who prevents the establishment of hell is preventing the normal development of the universe. And, we the hell haven't been doing anything to hurt the real world. Otherwise, with our strength, we can destroy one galaxy after another at will. Under such circumstances, I don't know why the master behind you wants to make a move. This is not normal. I suspect that what you say is false. Quote. Qin Hao began to, reasonable. We are very restrained. We did nothing. In such a situation, you still do it. This is not normal. Hearing Qin Hao's words, someone in the Tiantian group changed color. Because what Qin Hao said was right. Except for a few planets, almost nothing in the real world has been touched. In other words, the other party has actually been maintaining the stability of the real world. But the more it was like this, the more it shocked everyone in the Tiantian group. The other party may really be a dead person. Because death is the beginning and end of all life. No matter what, today I will get rid of you according to the Master's request. The Eradicator smashed a huge amounts of hammer into hell. Qin Hao saw the terrifying power fluctuations. In an instant, he led the crowd and disappeared in place. Boom! The terrifying hammer passed through the tearing space crack directly through the crack. The whole steamer hell trembled crazily in an instant. This is more terrifying than the original battle between the prosecutor and the ancient gods. Even with this trembling, there is a feeling of passing to other hells. Bold. The ancient gods borrowed their power from the power gem. Directly in the steamer hell, it showed the strength of the star cluster level in the early stage. But the gap between this strength and the opponent is still too big. It is impossible for the ancient gods to withstand this terrifying sledgehammer attack. After a few blows, the ancient god was directly bombarded and flew out. It slammed into the cracking steamer hell. Close the rift. The ancient god quickly got up. Then tried to manipulate the crack to gradually close. This is his hell. He naturally has this ability. Seeing the cracks close, the Eradicators are furious. The sledgehammer in his hand danced faster and faster. But the cracks are closing faster and faster. Eradicator, don't let him close the crack. Once he closes the crack, he will sink into a deeper magic space. The analyst looked anxiously at the smaller and smaller gaps. Since this is the master's order, then they have to do it. Eradicators, they must be wiped out early, their growth rate is astonishing. The tester followed suit. He was more worried about the opponent's growth rate. Once wait until the other party continues to grow. Then there will be big trouble. That's right, we can't let them grow fundamentally. Their strength is really growing too fast. Now their strongest is the star cluster level early stage. If we continue to wait, maybe they will appear in the late stage of the star cluster or even the peak. The explorer also shook his head helplessly. Eradicator, maybe we should go in. If we don't succeed this time, we won't have the face to face our master. The prosecutor at the moment also spoke directly. There is a feeling of being overwhelmed. This time they failed, and they didn't intend to live. The Eradicator frowned. He has a feeling. Once the opponent is closed and manipulated, it is almost impossible to tear down this barrier by myself. Now I heard that the other party may sink the world into the magic field. This is absolutely not okay. Lord Eternal has already spoken to destroy them. If you can't do it yourself, then there is no need for you to exist. Then kill it. The Eradicator made his decision 5. In hell, Qin Hao waited quietly. He deliberately let the ancient gods do it. And deliberately let the ancient gods slowly close the space crack. I just want to see the choice of the Tenjin group. If the opponent comes in, then they will fight each other. If they don't come in, he decides to sink hell a little bit. After that, I waited quietly for a few days, waiting for the reality gem to appear. Qin, will they come in? Hila was a little worried. Only once, the opponent's strength was too strong. She felt that no one here has the strength of the opponent's wrist. Not even Qin Hao after the breakthrough. That Eradicator is definitely the pinnacle of the star cluster. It's okay, come in and have a look, we'll have a fight, it's best if you don't come in. It's really coming in, no one on our side can fight the other side. Hila was a little anxious. Let them spoil a little hell at best. At that time, directly kill all other gods who can be killed. This time, don't hold back. Qin Hao is also a wolf. This time, don't hold back. I will soon reach a limit. What is needed now is another 7 days of resistance. Not even 7 days, because TIE particles will appear a little earlier. Even if it doesn't work, you can get another layer of hell. At that time, the strength will be one step closer. The Eradicators of the 107 peak star clusters don't have to be afraid at all. What's more, if you are in a hurry, you can complete the last soul of the ancient god. At that time, he was also a star cluster level limit existence. There's absolutely no problem beating the Eradicators. The only trouble is that when the time comes, the enemies of the ancient gods will be drawn out. If Qin Hao was still worried about this before, but since they are all paid attention to by eternity. How about one more enemy? Will the opponent be stronger than eternity? The odds are very small. Are you going to stop this time? We know. Hela understood Qin Hao's words. Odin, you return to Asgard, keep an eye on the Dark Elves and Midgard. TIE particles appear in these two places. Once you find TIE particles, send them over immediately. Quote. Qin Hao directly began to arrange things. TIE particles may have been destroyed. Odin explained. He was worried that Qin Hao didn't know about it. Not knowing that his father destroyed TIE particles. No, only infinite gems can destroy infinite gems. TIE particles cannot be destroyed by other things. Quote. Qin Hao replied in the affirmative. Hela's eyes brightened upon hearing this. If it's still there, that's good. I see, I will deal with it immediately. Odin at the moment also believed most of it. He didn't believe that Qin Hao would deceive him on this matter. Because there is no need. And what Qin Hao said makes sense. The only infinite gems that can destroy infinite gems. If you wait until the first line of the 9 realms, TIE particles don't appear. You also immediately come to inform us that I will also drag the kingdom of the Dark Elves into hell. Quote. Qin Hao added another sentence. Without TIE particles, it would be an extra layer of hell. This is the plan he had thought up long ago. I see. After Odin finished speaking, he disappeared into hell in a blink of an eye. Immediately afterwards, everyone felt that someone had stepped into hell. The Eradicator took the other 8 gods with him. In the end, he went to hell. Close. With a wave of Qin Hao's hand, the entire torn barrier of hell was instantly closed. The entire steamer hell was instantly shrouded in a terrifying water vapor. But the steam is useless to them. As soon as the momentum of the crowd dispersed, all the water vapor in this layer of hell was compressed to one side. Several people looked back at the barriers of hell. The sledgehammer in the Eradicator's hand smashed hard against the walls of hell. Boom! Terrifying energy vibrations moved in all directions. The whole steamer hell even felt like it had been plowed. However, the barriers of hell remained motionless. At this moment, the members of the Tianqian group felt a chill in their hearts. The barriers of hell are so strong. The Eradicator's tone was a little shaken. On purpose. It was the opponent's intention to tear the barriers apart. The opponent closed the crack on purpose. They were just waiting for them to come in on purpose. What happened next confirmed their thinking. The channel between regions is opened. Qin Hao led the crowd to appear in the steamer hell again. The ancient god at the moment is a bit miserable. He previously wanted to complete Qin Hao's mission. The figure hid by the Eradicator's hammer is blurred. At the moment, he dodged and hid behind Qin Hao and the others. The body absorbs the divine power of hell and restores the body. The Eradicator looked at Qin Hao. Your strength is very strong. In the middle stage of the star cluster level, plus him, 2-star cluster level, it seems that this is your confidence. His tone was a little mocking. You are powerful. But still a little worse than him. No, it's 6-star clusters. After Qin Hao finished speaking, he clapped his hands. 6. The analyst's voice rose once. Hearing Qin Hao's words, not to mention the Tianqian group, even Hila and Ancient One were shocked. 6. Do we have 6-star clusters? Hila looked around. Did not see the existence of other star clusters. Then, her eyes changed. 4 judges. At the moment, none of the 4 judges showed up. In other words, the 4 judges have not appeared for a long time. They seem to have been dealing with the minutiae of hell. It was the 4 of them who maintained the stability of hell. Otherwise, take people like Hela, Lof, Serta. How could it be possible to manage such a huge hell? As soon as Hela finished speaking, 4 figures really appeared beside them. The powerful coercion spread out. The early stage of the star cluster. 4 star clusters in the early stages. The opponent's strength is stronger again. The measurer's tone was dignified. If we hadn't been in there all the time, I doubt our time is inconsistent. With such a powerful strength and such a fast pace of progress, it's no wonder that it has attracted the attention of the master. The prosecutors and other gods at the moment also looked dignified. They never imagined that the opponent's strength has grown. Moreover, this time it was much longer. The 4 judges, when they first came, their strength was still very low. Absolutely no more than the star field level. But now, it is directly at the early stage of the star cluster level. This is your confidence. A mid-stage star cluster, 5 early-stage star clusters. If you have a few more star clusters in the middle and late stages, it will be useful. In the early stages of the star cluster class, it's a matter of a few hammers. The Eradicator looked a little more serious. However, even if it is the initial stage of 4 star clusters, plus that ancient god, and even Qin Hao, who is in the middle of the star cluster class, the Eradicator didn't think the other party could fight him. He is a star cluster level peak player, and he can play 2 or 3 in the late stage of the star cluster level. For mid-term star clusters, even a dozen or so are fine. As for the early stage, basically a few hammers can directly die. The ancient god was almost hammered to death by him. Therefore, people of Qin Hao's strength, even a little more is of no use to him. If only a few more middle and late stages. He's still a little worried. No, it is our confidence that you will enter hell. Dimension Mephisto, all have a characteristic, the strength will increase greatly in their own dimension. Although the underworld is not a dimension Mephisto, we can also become the existence of a dimension Mephisto at any time. You guys shouldn't have come in. Qin Hao's words surprised all the gods in the god group. Haven't they improved yet? The ancient god Shendu has already improved his strength once. Could it be that that is not the upper limit? Under their annotations, Qin Hao's aura has directly reached the late stage of star cluster level. As for the 4 judges, their strength directly became the middle stage of the star cluster level. At this moment, the expression of the Eradicator instantly became dignified. This can hold him back. Once he is dragged down, all the prosecutors behind him will be wiped out. Because the ancient gods can completely free up their hands to deal with the prosecutor. The other gods are not opponents of the other hell gods at all. It seems that this time we are really going to die here. The prosecutor was a little self-deprecating. Eradicator, when the time comes, leave us alone and attack other people directly. We die when we die, even if we can't complete the mission of the master, we can't gain nothing at all. You've got to make a whole hell of a fuss, and at least make them pay a little. You are bent on destroying in hell, and they have nothing to do with you. The best thing is to directly destroy this hell. Quote. The analyst gives the plan directly. Don't care about their life or death, just destroy them directly. In addition, the 8 of us did the same, we scattered and fled directly. If you can walk, you can walk, if you can't, you have to do harm to the world. Master's order, we cannot do nothing. Quote, yes, yes. All the gods at the moment are ready to fight with their lives. Even, they are ready to fall here. However, they also want to cause damage to the underworld. Scatter. At the order of the analyst, all members of the celestial group immediately dispersed. Only the Eradicators remained in place. He wants to buy time for a group of gods. Go, we lay siege to the Eradicators, Egg, Star-Lord, Hela, and you hunt. Ancient gods, you hunt the prosecutor. Everyone, kill the Celestials quickly, and we'll hold the Eradicator down. Quote. Qin Hao directly issued the order. Use the 3 people of the large galaxy level to directly hunt for the existence of the star field level and the constellation level. Use the ancient gods to fight the prosecutors at the grand galaxy level. All of them are TNG's style of horse racing. The person I fight against you will always be stronger than you. Yes, everyone disperses immediately. Want to go, it's not that easy. The sledgehammer in the Eradicator's hand slammed fiercely at the crowd. Qin Hao went straight to meet him. The 4 judges behind him shot directly at the Eradicator. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying energy explosion directly set off the ground of the steamer Hell. The horrific battle even made this layer seem to be falling apart. Boom. As soon as they fought, Qin Hao was directly sent flying by the Eradicator. The gap between the peak and the later period cannot be ignored. But the Eradicators weren't faring well either. While smashing Qin Hao into the air, he was hit directly by the wolf by the 4 judges. There are a few cracks in his armor. Qin Mo stood up. Come again. As he spoke, he killed the Eradicator again. 5 of them, this time outright and in the hands of the Eradicators. Qin Hao is waiting for all other gods to be killed. There is a guess, Qin Hao wants to try. Ding, the searcher is dead, gaining energy from the shrinker. It was detected that there is a special substance in the energy. Ding, the searcher is dead, gaining energy from the shrinker. It was detected that there is a special substance in the energy. Analyze the composition of matter. Discover the power of eternity. Integrate with system replication parsing eternal force. Warning, the system needs more eternals. Warning, the system needs more eternal power. Warning, the system needs more eternal power. When the first celestial group member was killed, the system directly detected the special energy. And in this energy, the most important thing is the eternal calendar. The system was originally analyzing and replicating the eternal power constantly. The last piece of eternal power was obtained from Certas, the eternal fire. From then on, the system went directly to the minimum operating state. It is to analyze and replicate the power of eternity. Qin Hao thought at the beginning that the gods in the god group were eternal creations. Will there be eternal power in their bodies? That's why he suddenly wanted to kill this time. Now that it has been seen by Yong'an, then see if you can get some eternal power by the way. Sure enough, because the god group lord has an eternal calendar. Hila, Egg, Kai, kill all the gods of the god group. Qin Hao's voice echoed in hell. Hearing Qin Hao's words, everyone's pursuit became even more relentless. You wanna die? The Eradicator looked crazy. Another fierce blow knocked Judge Wei Zheng to the ground. He can only make up for one hammer. But he was stopped by Qin Hao. Although Qin Hao was also beaten by this blow, he kept retreating. But Wei Zheng got a chance. He evacuated directly. The other 3 judges directly shot at the Eradicator, leaving wounds one after another. Ding! The analyst is dead, gaining energy from the shrinker. Discover the power of eternity. Analytic eternal force integrates with system duplication. Warning, the system needs more eternal power. The system's voice rang again in Qin Hao's ear. Another death. You are courting death. A god roared crazily. Boom. Immediately afterwards, a white light shining throughout the steamer hell appeared directly. One day the gods blew themselves up. Ding, the collector is dead, get the shrinker area. Discover the power of eternity. Analytic eternal force integrates with system replication. Warning, the system needs more eternal power. Qin Hao's heart trembled. This time it was the collector who died. This time, the 3 members of the Tianqian group who came for the first time died directly. All go to the place where the collectors blew themselves up, we'll blow this place up. There is a direct and crazy roar of the gods. Boom. Ding, the calculator is dead, and the shrinker's energy area is obtained. Boom. Ding, the measurer is dead, and he has obtained the energy of the shrinker. Boom. Ding, the analyst is dead, gaining energy from the shrinker. Boom. Ding, the explorer is dead, and he has obtained the energy of the shrinker. Boom. Ding, the tester is dead, and he has obtained the energy of the shrinker. A series of explosions sounded. The system sound also rang in Qin Hao's ear. More importantly, this layer of steamer hell is constantly trembling by their self-detonation. Countless cracks spread crazily from the explosion point towards the wind in all directions. Those cracks were bottomless. It seems to go straight to the deepest depths of hell. Once it is really shattered, then from hell may really be blown to pieces. Eradicator, we are defeated, it's up to you. The prosecutor's voice came at last. No, the Eradicator's hands are getting harder. But it was still firmly blocked. With this delay, the Eradicator disappeared directly on the ground. He jumped directly into the crack of hell. If you want to fry, just fry in it. Boom. The whole hell seems to be literally being torn apart. Qin Hao even saw a huge piece of land floating in one direction. Hila, Ancient One, Egg, all of you will gather all the territory of hell for me. Qin Hao's voice suddenly sounded. He felt that the breath of the ancient gods fluctuated just now. A little lower. The destruction of hell will have an impact on the master of one hell. This is something Qin Hao already knew. Quick, send that piece of hell territory back. Both go. A group of people flew towards the blasted territory. Things must be brought back. Ding, the prosecutor is dead, and has obtained the energy of the shrinker. Discover the power of eternity. Integrate with system replication parsing eternal force. The power of eternity is about to be satisfied, and the Qing host will provide another power of eternity. Just then, the sound of the system changed. The power of eternity is about to be satisfied. Provide another power of eternity. Qin Hao looked directly at the Eradicator in front of him. Right now, only one Eradicator exists. Then, killing the Eradicator is equivalent to killing a complete celestial team. And a complete team of gods can actually provide a complete eternal power. It seems that today's Tianqian group is bound to be completely wiped out. The only problem, they seem to be lacking in getting rid of the Eradicators. It is very difficult to be able to hold the opponent. BF. Activate the complete ancient god. Directly make up his 3 souls and 7 souls. System, what's the benefit of having enough eternal power? Qin Hao decided to ask the system about the power of eternity first. Ding, the power of eternity is higher level than the power of immortality, and has many functions. Raise the level of hell. Quote, improve host strength. Quote, third, establish a hell time system. Fourth, the practice of hell members will have eternal power. 5. Creatures with eternal power, life forms change. The system lists many functions of eternal power. Qin Hao was thinking about it when he heard the words. Each of these abilities is useful. The improvement of hell level can increase the strength of hell members. And he can also be directly improved in strength. Even if it is only a small level increase. I can also reach the late star cluster level. In hell, it is possible to reach the peak of the star cluster level. That alone is enough. System, make up the 3 souls and 7 souls of the ancient gods. Qin Hao directly issued the order. Ding, accept the host's order and make up the 3 souls and 7 souls of the ancient gods. Phew, there was a gust of gloomy wind in the whole underworld. The terrifying power of the soul converged in one direction. Boom, the ancient god who was rushing towards here suddenly stopped in his tracks. All the power of the soul was concentrated on him. The last soul is completely filled. He who was a little stiff at the moment gradually became more agile. He looked around strangely. Then he looked at his hand again. Eater of planets, I'm sworn to death with you. The ancient god roared crazily. He remembered. Everything came to mind. I was killed by the planet devourer. His own body was even disassembled. However, now he is alive again. It's all done by this hell. This is where the soul belongs. I am the prisoner of this level of hell. PFF. Hearing the words of the ancient gods, Qin Hao's momentum froze. Planet devourer. Qin Hao thought a lot, but the only thing he didn't expect was that the ancient god was killed by the planet devourer. This is also one of the creation gods. However, his strength has a certain gap compared with the other 4. Because the planet devourers can't eat enough. Boom. Qin Hao's momentum froze, and the Eradicator seized the opportunity and hit him hard. He was smashed directly to the ground like a meteor. Boom. But at this moment, the aura of the ancient gods took office crazily. Midterm star cluster. Late star cluster. The pinnacle of the star cluster. Boom. Level single universe. Under the blessing of the power gem of the underworld, the ancient gods directly broke through to the level single universe. Feeling this momentum, the Eradicator slammed the sledgehammer to the ground. Everyone withdraws and hands over to the ancient gods. Qin Hao gave an order, and the 4 judges left in an instant. Boom, boom, the terrifying figure of the ancient god made the ground shatter continuously. Originally, it was broken even more by the steamer hell at the moment that exploded almost shattered. Qin Hao was even worried. This hell will be completely torn apart by this battle in the end. At that time, will this level of hell still exist? But looking back, there was already a piece of territory missing anyway. I don't care about being beaten to pieces. Boom. The ancient god hit the Eradicator hard with a blow. Compared with the ancient god, there is a huge gap between the Eradicator and the ancient god. He was slapped into the ground like a mosquito. The hell that was smashed directly became more and more fragmented. Qin Hao retreated to the side with the 4 judges. The strength of the ancient gods has broken through, and system rewards have been issued. Reward 1. The first prisoner whose destructive power reaches level single universe is born, and the strength of all members of the underworld will increase by 1 level. Reward 2. The strength of the master of the first prison once again surpassed that of the host, and the strength of the host has been greatly improved. Reward 3. Increase the number of yin soldiers and generals in each hell. Reward 4. Increase the number of ecstasy envoys. Reward 5. The scope of radiation in the underworld is expanded, and the scope of attracting souls is expanded. The sound of the system constantly rang in Qin Hao's ear. His strength rose crazily at the moment. The pinnacle of the star cluster. In the blink of an eye, his strength reached the peak of the star cluster level. Immediately afterwards, Qin Hao put away the power of the power gem. His aura fell to the late star cluster level in a blink of an eye. But then, his momentum rose again. Once again returned to the peak of the star cluster. It doesn't stop until the limit is close to the level single universe. At the moment, Qin Hao felt it. There seems to be a barrier between the star cluster peak and the level single universe. If this barrier cannot be broken, he cannot become a real level single universe. Even, he could feel the meaning of what the system said. The ancient gods only reached level single universe in terms of destructive power. His realm is still at the peak of the star cluster. Hela and the others at the moment just pushed back the separated territory. In the process of implementation, their strengths have all gone one step further. Hela came to the middle of the large galaxy class. Ego, Ancient One, and Star-Lord have become the early stage of the large galaxy level. Odin as far away as Asgard has reached the initial star field level. Serta has also reached the pinnacle of constellation level. Only Loth is the weakest, reaching the late constellation level. Among them, the 4 judges are different. Their current strength is closely following that of Qin Hao. Qin Hao reached the peak of the star cluster level. Their strength has directly reached the late star cluster level. Just this time, the strength of Hel has greatly improved. Everyone in Hela felt their own strength. All were surprised. The ancient gods are so fierce. Push us all a step further. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.